Pal fam, what is up? Happy Thanksgiving. Welcome to the show. For those of you catching us later, thank you for enjoying your favorite podcast on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you catch the great content. We do not have Todd tonight, but we do have the three amigos, myself, Corey, Aaron. Gentlemen, happy Thanksgiving. Definitely thankful to do this with you guys first and foremost. But gentlemen, how are we doing this evening?
Dude, it's like a nice little long weekend coming. I had a today off too, so I'm
Wow.
fucking vibing.
Well, look
Did you
at
take
you.
it off, or
Huh?
did you just get it off?
We got it off, so I just
Wow.
kind of like cleaned.
Who got what off?
Yeah, Aaron got off. We were in the office today, and but had a cool boss move.
Yeah, that's some great managerial
I
work.
saw that. So please share what you share with us in the group chat today.
Yeah, getting I'll pop the video up in there, but getting out of work early if you make a long putt, basically, is what it boiled down to. We had a couple good ones. Another boss move. It was like 348, and I moved the putt way back. I was like, all right, guys, if I make this, we'll leave at 4. Drained it, just absolutely drained it. And then I had 2 more balls. I hit one, and then the next one, I'm like, all right, if I make this one, we'll just leave now. Mind you, this is like a 50-foot putt. Just fucking drained it right there. I was like, all right, wrap it up. Let's go home. Get out of here.
Corey knows the floor breaks to the left, so
Yeah.
He's practiced this many a night. Many a night after all the pawns have gone home. Corey's just sitting there stroking putts
Just grinding. Just
7,
grinding.
8 o'clock in the
Just
evening,
getting better
learning the
at
lay of the
craft.
land.
For moments like that.
No, that's great. I mean, that is a 1,000% boss move. And but no, chat. I mean, how long have we been doing this together? This is like 2 full years for all 4 of us together.
Yeah.
I think.
yeah.
It's been a hell of a ride. So kind of just wanted to start the show off on a fact of just how thankful we are, just as a group of people, to have such a wonderful community. You know, people that show up week in, week out, and not only just pop in for a few minutes, but stay for the whole show. And as you know, our shows are not short.
Nope.
They're not short. You guys stick around. You contribute, make comments. You know, provide some insight as well. And keep the keep the flow going. And we can't thank you guys enough for that. You know, this is the time of year for us to be thankful and grateful for everything that we have, and we couldn't do this without you guys. And that's pretty much it. We just wanted to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts, and just appreciate you for sticking with us and hanging out, week in and week out. So
Just some fellas coming together, break some bread.
What is
You're supposed to
hold on. Let me find it.
It's beautiful.
Got it. We got it. All right. So we do not have Todd with us. Todd, we love you as well. Todd is hanging out with the in-laws today, getting saucy and enjoying some Thanksgiving festivities. I do have Todd's picks, so we will get into that shortly. I did not shave my head again, so there's we're still working on the regrow here. We're almost getting there. We're getting back.
Yeah.
We're getting back there. But let's go ahead and recap last week. Definitely a brutal week for the AFC North. Brutal. Those first, yeah, I'm sure you did. Those first 2 games were absolutely insane. The Bengals Ravens on Thursday night, Joe Burrow going down for the season. Matt Canada got fired yesterday. Praise Jesus, hallelujah.
You're welcome.
Thank God for I mean, you guys pretty much put the nail in his coffin, and I can't thank you enough for it.
I can't tell you how many times I've been on the reverse end of that, where we get our crap kicked in by the Steelers and someone gets fired. So it was really nice to be on the other side to say, serve him his walking papers. What's up, Rob?
What up, Rob? Good evening.
Happy Thanksgiving, buddy.
So we have obviously had those 2 games, which are dogfights, and we'll get into. The Packers upset the Chargers last week, which, can we even call it an upset after watching the game? I don't know, but we'll get into it. And then the Commanders got beat by the Giants, which everybody,
they got smacked,
counted out. So
absolutely smacked.
And then the only other big discrepancy in the picks last week was the Seahawks Rams, which 2 of the 6 got right. I'm sorry. No, 4 of the 6 got right, 2 got wrong. Yeah, those are really the only other big games that were really missed. The Eagles Chiefs was pretty much dialed up correctly. 4 of the 6 had the Chiefs. Yeah, kind of an interesting.
The Chiefs or the Eagles? Because I had the Eagles.
Or I'm sorry, 4 of the 6
I
had
know
the
you
Eagles. 4 of the 6 had the Eagles. Excuse me. One other big thing that we're doing tonight, Chad. Obviously, as you know, I've had my shirt off for months at this point. I will be personally doing shotguns for donations, and shotguns, literally shotguns. I will be shotgunning beers. Every $20 that is donated to the Parkinson's chapter here in Cincinnati, I will be doing a shotgun. That doesn't. If we do, $200 in donations, that means I'm doing 10 shotguns. Like, there's no cap. Or until I pass out, at least. I guess that's kind of the cap. But whatever.
But also,
no
as Gen Z says, no cap. Like he ain't fucking around either.
Yeah. Mom, my shirt. Yeah, you obviously haven't tuned into the last 13 podcasts that we've done. I lost a bet back in week 5. I mean, week 4, week 5, whatever it was. I don't remember. The Arizona Cardinals were playing the Dallas Cowboys, and I said, if the Cowboys lose the Cardinals, I will do the rest of the season with my shirt off. And here it is. We're in week 12, and I still have my shirt off. So, man of my word. And so we can obviously get this corrected. $20 donations to the Cincinnati chapter of Parkinson's, which we'll put a link in the comments. The Great Lakes chapter of Parkinson's research. So you do a $20 donation. Just let us know that you donated in the chat, and I will shotgun a beer, and we will continue to chop away at this fund. We're $115 away from goal. It's all for a great cause.
Mm-hmm.
Without further ado, let's get into last week's standings. We had 2 people tied for the best week, and those 2 people, Todd Gottschall.
Wow.
And Aaron Mailing.
I thought I had a good week.
Yeah, no, I wanted to lead with Todd because you were kind of really confident there, and I kind of wanted to knock you down a peg. But Todd was 11-3, Aaron was 11-3, Corey and I tied at 10-4. Then the chat across the board, Josh, Tez, and Pops were all 9-5.
If I didn't get so jacked up on the Browns, if I didn't get so jacked up on the Browns last week, Todd was going to take the Steelers. So, it's a gift and a curse.
Yeah,
it is indeed. It is indeed.
You almost talked me into the Browns, actually.
If I would have picked both of the AFC North games the way that my gut had told me to, as opposed to my heart, I would have been 12-2. But
I did switch to my pick to the Bengals in while we were live because I thought it was a coin flip, but I'm like, all right, well, the Bengals guys are taking the Ravens. That's the thing. Like, if he didn't get hurt, I mean. Who knows how that game goes.
It's speculated that he was hurt prior.
We can comment on that here in a little bit. I want to give a quick shout out to Shelly, Rob, Ryan, Pops, as he is so lovely known as, Josh. Thank you guys for liking the stream. If you're feeling saucy, go ahead and share it. Let's get everybody in here. Biggest bar night of the year. Well, this is your favorite bar, Rally Tough Sports. So grab a beer, pull up, drop your ridiculous football hot takes into the chat so we can have a fun night tonight.
Absolutely. All right, so pretty tight-knit across the board. Let's see here. Let me just make sure I had this correct from last week. So Corey was 1 game back last week.
No, I was 1 game up, baby.
You were 1 game up. So it is now tied between you two, both at 97 and 53. I currently sit at 4 games back at 94 and 56. I'm sorry, 3 games back at 94 and 56. And Todd is 7 games back at 89 and 61.
Clawing his way back into reality. Running out of time, though.
Running out of time. No, I'm sorry. I had it correctly the first time. You guys are 108 and 56. I'm 104 and 60. He's 164. So I am 4 games and 8 games, respectively.
Mm-hmm.
And then Josh and Tez are still deadlocked, 71 and 45. Pops is 64 and 36. So pretty tight there in the chat as well. Still not, what the professionals are doing here, but that's okay. Just have to razz you guys a little bit. All right. Well, we'll kind of just dive in. Do you guys want to dive into like some surprises from last week, or we just want to kind of just roll into this week? How do you guys want to?
Let's just get into it and go off the rails at some point. I think is the best.
I mean, it's gonna go off the rails now. So, Mom, yeah, Dad answered your question. Thank you. All right, first game tomorrow, Thanksgiving Day. Obviously, this is a classic game that we get every single year. This is the Green Bay Packers in Detroit taking on the Lions. Corey, our respective Detroit
correspondent,
native at this point, correspondent is probably a better word for it. Let you lead this one off, sir. We got the Lions, hosting the Packers this week. What are your thoughts and who are you taking?
Yeah, Detroit always hosting a Thanksgiving game, a tradition unlike any other. Typically at this point, the Lions are kind of out of it, and you're just kind of like, oh, let's see what they can do on Thanksgiving. Obviously not the case this year. Last year gave the Bills a scare in Detroit. The Bills had been in Detroit for 2 weeks at that point, if you remember, playing Cleveland at Ford Field the week prior because of the massive snowstorm that hit Buffalo. So this year, getting the Packers in, they come off the big win against the Chargers. Obviously, Detroit comes off a nice win themselves here against the Bears, a great win against the Bears, down 13 with like 3 minutes to go or something like that, and then coming back to win the game. Detroit has yet to answer any questions that I've had about their defense, though. Should have never been in that position. They have failed to show me a Super Bowl winning defense yet. Now this team has found ways to win, and they're 8-2. And like the saying goes, you are what your record says you are. And this is, I believe, the first time they're 8-2 since the 60s, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that.
62.
62. So JFK was still alive at that point. That's crazy. This is a insane statistic, and it's really good for Detroit. Really good for Lions fans.
I do need to pause you for a second. We have our first donation of the evening.
Ooh,
from Rob Meter.
What do we get here?
We got a $10 dono from Rob.
All right, 10 more, and then Bobby. 10 more, and Bobby is shotgunning.
I'm trying to. There you go.
What'd you do there? How much, Aaron?
Aaron donated
20.
20. All right, there we go. All right,
so we're at 30. So now we're at 85 and 30 is 115.
Yeah, so we have $85.
85
left.
more to go. So
I did a nice 20 spot on there. Honestly, great cause, but it's not for the shirt; it's for the shotgun. Yeah. I'd rather the shirt stay off, but I was going to wait for my turn, but I wanted to get in there.
You guys made the rules. I didn't. So
it'll be cleaner without a shirt.
Yeah. So sure. $10 will get you another shotgun. We're going to have to space these out because I imagine it's going to come soon. But Corey, please continue your thought while I get.
No, let's watch this. I want to take this in.
Okay. All right.
For those listening on Spotify, I'll do a play-by-play. And Bobby has the Bud Light, and looks like, is that a knife or scissors?
It's a knife.
It's a knife in hand. He's going with the thumb over top of the blade technique. Really, really good. He's going just below the barcode, which is the proper way to go on the opposite side of the tab.
Yeah, here's a guy that knows what he's doing, Aaron. He's just coming in right here, as you can see. Getting this knife in here, like not many people in the league can do. Not many people in the league can do this.
A blade insert and wedge to create that hole. Fantastic.
I mean, look at that slit. Who wouldn't want to get in there?
And it's lip-sized. And here comes the tap hole. Now, Corey, how do you think the hat brim is going to play an effect on this?
It's going to be interesting as he goes vertical here, Aaron. We're going to see how he handles this adversity. Oh, baby. There
wow. And look at how he used gravity to his side and not a drop left.
And as you can see, full extension on the areolas there. This is good stuff. Class act.
That was very impressive. I would like to give a round of applause to Bobby. Congratulations. And it's for a good cause. So
and you know what, Bob?
It's not my rodeo. It's not my first rodeo, boys.
Next one, I'll join you.
Oh, let's go.
I have Haze Crafts. I will not be.
Yeah, I'm sipping on a little Oberon Eclipse this evening. If you haven't had it yet, if you're an Oberon fan, this is just
I
the
would join
winter
you
version.
guy, but the only other beer I have in my house is
House.
a Rhine
The only other
Geist
beer I have in
Truth.
my house is a.
Dude.
All right,
yeah,
listen here.
shotgun
I'm just sounding like you in about 40 minutes.
Touche. How about those nips on that shotgun? Thanks, Tez. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Hey guys, this is all for a good cause. If you want to join,
Yes.
we obviously would appreciate it.
Yeah,
It'll
so
put those
Heather,
nips
Rob
away.
did the first 10, so there's only $10 left on another shotgun. So
Beautiful.
then once we hit that, we'll have $75 left until goal.
So that was for my 20, right?
That was
Yeah,
for
that
your
was for
20.
Aaron's
That was for
20.
your 20.
Every
Yep.
$20 is a shotgun.
Yep.
As we are saying.
Okay, so Packers Lions, Corey.
So
you were
yeah,
in the middle
both
of
the
it.
teams coming off exciting wins. We'll talk about the Chargers a little bit later. I don't believe they're on a bye this week, so we'll talk about them. Yeah, I know Aaron Jones, Jordan Love, still nothing to be impressed
Aaron
with.
Jones just reported that he's out for this week, right?
Yeah,
He's
no Aaron
ACL
Jones is
sprain?
what I'm saying. Correct. And Aaron, I see the eyebrows raising. It's the Chargers defense, dude. They're so fucking bad.
But I'm so mystified by him.
Don't-
Yes, I agree with you. And what did we say? It was like, the Chargers defense is like the Mario mushroom, where everyone, they get big against them. And I get it. Or it's like
Yeah.
the star.
Yeah.
I get it. Like I totally agree. But I also think the Lions defense is kind of like Chargers light in that regard.
Yeah, no, that's a fair compromise there. That I don't necessarily disagree with that. Here's the thing, though. Lions at home, they're 8-2. There's going to be so much sauce in.
Uh-oh.
Hold on.
Oh, Bob.
What
There I
did you do?
am.
What did you do?
I'm just sitting here on my hands, quite
You
literally.
got so excited. You
I
got
didn't
so
do anything.
excited.
I just sat here. I think that you're gonna see an environment Thanksgiving Day, the whole nation watching in Ford Field, that is going to absolutely rattle this Packers team that is just quite frankly inferior to that. Look for Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery to just be too much, regardless of how soft the Lions defense is. They have yet to have gone up against an offense where it matters, except for that of the Baltimore Ravens, where they just blew the fucking doors off of them. So, yeah, I got the Lions here. I think it's a comfortable win. I think most of the people in Detroit are trying to find a place to party on Thanksgiving, and it's going to be a good time here in the Mitten State.
Aaron.
Yeah, I mean, Corey kind of touched on it at the beginning and then definitely there at the end in terms of, when you're talking about the Lions and Thanksgiving, frankly, at this point of the year, they're typically out of it as opposed to leading the charge in the division. Yeah. So I think you are going to conference. Yeah, absolutely. But you're going to see a different crowd level than we've seen in years past, where it's like, oh, it's our lovable Lions on Thanksgiving. Well, I'm glad they're playing and that's cool and everything like that. We're finally at a point now where, I'm super happy for the Lions to be on Thanksgiving. This will be a good game, and hats off to the Lions for the win that they had last week that they had no business winning. Jared Goff throwing 3 picks. We've given him his flowers all year. Yeah, Corey, he was bad, but that's also a win that can kind of really juice up the locker room where they're like, you know what, we're invincible. We're destined. We're the team of destiny. We win these type of games, and you're seeing it. With teams this year that frankly are really fun. The Lions are good. The Browns are good. The Jaguars are good. The Texans are good. Like you're seeing teams that historically, that's been the fun part
Browns?
of this year. That was the second one I said.
Oh,
I think it's good for football just to have a new mix in there. Historically, this is a game that the Packers just roll through. I'm taking the Lions here. I will say though, this probably has the biggest fireworks of any of the 3 games that are going to be on Thanksgiving. I do think the Lions defense is still susceptible, and Corey, I was rolling my eyes a little bit, but not because I think Jordan Love is a fantastic quarterback. But when you look at all of the injuries and all of the rookie quarterbacks that have been playing this year, Jordan Love has actually been, and even if you want to just say from like a fantasy perspective, like kind of sneaky okay. Especially
We're calling him a
to,
rookie?
No. I'm saying compared to, of all of the quarterbacks that have had to play this year, because I'm saying there's been a historic amount of rookie quarterbacks that have had to play this year. So no, I'm not comparing him to rookies. I'm just saying the level of quarterback play has dipped down considerably this year. When you have guys like Burrow that are out, there's been, countless injuries that have kept people out week in and week out, maybe not season long, but certainly week out. Because I think we've had the most rookie quarterbacks ever start an NFL games so far, especially through now going 12 weeks. So
that's believable.
Yeah.
Considering the way the season's gone.
I believe it's 10. I think it's 10.
It's crazy.
So yeah, wild. But hey, hats off to the Lions, man. I'm super excited for that fan base. And yeah, that crowd is going to have some fun.
It's going to be fucking lit.
Absolutely.
They're going to be so fucked up at
All right.
noon.
I'm going to get to Todd's pick, my pick, then we're going to catch up with chat here for a second.
Cool.
Todd said Lions with some comments here. Jordan Love has played better, but the Lions shook off all the rust in the fourth quarter. Lions defense is shaky. Jordan Love plus 35 yards rushing against the Lions defense next week.
Interesting.
He's still taking the Lions. If any of you are betting, he is saying that 35 plus yards rushing on Jordan Love. I'm assuming that would be some pretty good odds too against that defense, at least for Jordan Love. So I am also taking the Lions. I don't see any way, shape, or form in which they lose this divisional game against the Packers. Yeah, that dynamic with David Montgomery back, him and Jahmyr Gibbs, that could be the best backfield in the league.
Who gets the turkey leg?
I'm going to say Jahmyr Gibbs gets the turkey leg this week.
I'm going to give it to Amon-Ra.
Okay, I'm going to say David Montgomery.
Okay, so we all have a turkey leg bet here. So cool. I like it. I think for those Jahmyr Gibbs fantasy football owners, you've been pleased over the last few weeks with his production in the way that he's been utilized within that offense for Detroit. It's been a nice change of pace. Obviously, he's a very talented young back. Taking nothing away from Dave Montgomery at the beginning of the season, and to now,
they're both top 12.
They're you could argue them both top 10.
Like this reminds me of the Chubb Hunt season.
Yeah,
like where it was like, yeah, you just start them both. It's fine.
Oh,
I mean,
I don't think there's any question that that's the best backfield in the league. I don't think anybody's going to sit here and argue with you there.
No doubt.
I mean, they would both be A1 starters on any other team in this league,
which is crazy because Montgomery, he's been a revelation.
The Bears just kind of wrote him off, and Dan Campbell was like, no.
He had some injury problems in Chicago, no doubt about that, and they weren't willing to in a rebuild pay a running back, unlike the Giants.
Which is fair, because obviously the running back market with where it is. But okay, let's get caught up with chat here. Apparently there was a $50 donation from
I need receipts,
Michelle, aka Mama Bear. Mom, thank you.
Corey calling out Bob's mom. Receipts.
Come on.
All right, so we got $50 there. Heather, how much did you donate? Did you do a 20 or did you just match the other 10 of Rob's? Rob said I have 3 shotguns on deck with $10 towards a fourth. I just need to make sure that this math is correct before I start getting after it.
Hats off to you guys in the giving spirit. We appreciate it.
Yeah, it's awesome, guys.
It's kind of what I was. Okay, so Heather was a full 20, so that was 70, so $80. So I've got 4 shotguns on deck. So basically $5 left is all that's left to donate.
Wow, you guys are amazing. It took 23 minutes. That's fantastic.
$5 is all that's left.
Rob's like,
old boy can come inside,
and I will put my shirt on immediately because.
Well, Bob, I'll take care of one of them. You take care of one. That's 2 shotguns, and we'll get another one after the next game.
Okay.
You ready? Are you okay?
Oh yeah, we're fine.
All right, we have a horse race here.
So yes, that's $80. That's 4 shotguns. So Corey's doing one. I'm doing the other. Corey, take.
I wish I had some light beers, guys.
It.
I can't let you be alone here. Let's
Okay.
get a nice wide berth.
Oh, a deep, wide berth. Yes, my nipple is in the camera.
I'll do
There
a
it is,
shot with you
right
for
there
the
for
next
you.
one.
Oh yeah. You don't want to cut your lip. Don't want to do
No.
that.
Oh no, absolutely not. You gotta.
You
No,
wanna see my-
these boys are professionals.
You gotta
wanna
make
see
sure.
my
You
hole?
gotta make sure you take it wide.
Oh,
It's not a. It's not
split a
like
little.
a. It's not a very round
Split a
hole. So,
little.
Now, Corey, what from an aerodynamic standpoint with the tall Ultra,
so
how we feel is
I made sure to just put a mouth on there. You know, a mouth for a mouth. You know what I mean? It's kind of
mouth to
Right.
mouth, Dave.
Yeah, mouth to mouth. I'm not gay, but mouth to mouth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I am a little curious on the tall boys there.
We'll
What's
see how it
the,
goes.
What's the
It's not
strat?
tall.
It's not
boy.
a
It's
tall
not-
boy. It's just a different. It's still 12
It's-
ounces. It's just.
It's slender can.
Yeah, it's
I would
kind
imagine.
of.
I would imagine Bob's has got the advantage.
Mine's more of a chode. I don't know, man. He's got gravity on his side. Like it's nice. It's just like a nice long tube where it's
It's like a
straight
periscope.
down. All right, cheers,
Watch out,
boys.
Victor. All right, 3, 2,
All right,
1.
boys. That is nothing short of impressive, and frankly, what the Pilgrims had in mind.
It is.
Yeah, I'll never beat Corey on a shotgun. That's just
No,
that's
Corey
just
is
what it is.
is an elite shotgunner. That's for sure.
I'm decent. He's like it's kind of like you think like yeah, I might be able to play college ball, and then Corey's just like yeah, I'm going pro. Like
Right.
it's just that you're just built different at that
It's
point.
my money makers. It's on the lips. You got to relax the jaw, open the throat,
Katie thanks you for it every day. All
and
right,
just welcome it home.
all right, boys. We all got the Lions in that first game. Turkey Day. Nip alert, nip alert. Yes, Tez, that's going to be a running meme for the rest of the year. Probably the rest of the entirety of this exists.
I want to clip
so.
that. Just you just saying nip alert, nip alert.
Thank God tomorrow's a holiday because there ain't no way this is going to be 2 hours.
Massive fake tits. Nice.
I just had to play it. All right. Next game on the slate for Turkey Day, we've got the Washington Commanders versus the Dallas Cowboys, which should be. This is the game where you're eating dinner, or your early afternoon Thanksgiving celebration, where it's just kind of on in the background, and you're just checking on the score every now.
Got a
and
nice
then.
buzz rolling by this point.
You got a great buzz going. You're just shooting the shit with family, maybe playing some cards, and kind of acquainting with each other.
Dude, shout out to Thanksgiving football for avoiding family conversation for years and years. I just want to give a huge shout out to the NFL for that.
Yeah, we appreciate that, guys.
Absolutely. No, so Tez, the $4.99 just so I can stay shirtless. Ha ha ha. There'd be 1 penny left. That's a dick comment, Tez. I don't appreciate it.
Awesome.
All
I think we
right.
should do
Commanders,
that.
Cowboys. Aaron, who you got?
If it helps, Bob, I added the extra 60 cents for the processing fee. So technically,
We're already there.
you got to cover that.
I'm enjoying
So yeah, no, I mean, this is what I kind of like here for the entire the slate here is just taking the money line favorites here, and I believe you get it at about plus 100. Because I'm looking at these games, I'm going, yeah, Lions, Cowboys, Niners. That's the way that this is going to shake out to me. The Commanders struggled last week against the Giants, but here's the thing: it's a divisional game, and I think that's why you see the Commanders struggled last week, even though it's the Giants that have been just absolutely miserable.
Kind of a scary thing about this week. All 3 games on Turkey Day are all divisional games.
The Cowboys are quietly streaking, though. That offense is looking really good. CeeDee Lamb has been outstanding. I'm sorry. The Cowboys are looking pretty good. Yeah, I'll just cut it there. I'm going to take the Cowboys.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on this one, man. Dak has led me to a 10-1 record on my fantasy football team so far this year, and it's fantastic. 1 game away from already clinching the number 1 seed. It's
That's
a beautiful
crazy.
thing. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. So this one I'm not going to overthink. Like, could an upset happen? Absolutely. It's the NFL. Absolutely. I'm not gonna take a flyer right now on the Commanders, though. I'm gonna take the Cowboys at home, and say they ride to an easy victory here.
So Todd is also riding with Cowboys. Said look for the Commanders to stay tight in this game. Prescott moving the ball really well. CeeDee Lamb presenting himself as a top 10 wideout.
I'd
Big
say
thing.
top 5 almost at this point, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree with that statement
At least this season, right? Like let's.
for sure.
I mean,
For sure.
so like let's just kick that around for a little bit. Like, who's your like if you had to start a team right now and you could
Are
pick
we counting injured or not?
yeah,
injured?
yeah.
So
well,
Jefferson and Chase are right up there.
yeah.
Jefferson, Chase, Tyreek. Those are. I mean,
Tyreek
those
is
have-
actually
those have to be-
Tyreek might be one.
Tyreek's my
Yeah.
one right now.
AJ
but
Brown.
AJ Brown,
Those are my
Cooper
top
Kupp
4.
is still in that conversation, but I'm like now at the point
that's where 5 gets a little shaky.
It's
Like
a little
those
shaky.
4 guys that we previously mentioned, those are solid top 4. I don't think there's anybody else that
I think,
beats that
and then
top
I
4.
think like Amon-Ra deserves consideration to be 5 as well, right? With CD, I think he's demonstrated his ability to have multiple routes available at his disposal as well. He's not just like a deep ball guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have guys like Devontae and Kupp who are like on the way down. They're escalating down.
Yeah.
So
Now, I'm not saying top 10 here, but what do we think about like a guy like Tank Dell, like a rookie receiver?
He's flashing, man. Like you got to give him credit. Like he's like.
Do we put him in the top 10 conversation?
no, not yet. I want to
Not
see
yet.
it more. I'm I want to see how that comes together next year. He's also, there's a reason he fell in the draft. He's 5'9". I want to see how that holds up to, consistent NFL play.
I'm also going to be curious to see how he responds to defenses targeting him more. You know what I mean? He's going to start seeing more defenses game plan to stop him.
Justin, you can help with that. Tonight we are doing shotguns for donations. And your Cowboys are the reason I don't have my fucking shirt on. So this appeals to you more than anybody.
What, naked men?
Oh,
It's a Cowboys fan, man. What am I going to do?
Yeah. Yeah. So J-Rob is a Cowboys fan. Back in week 4 or 5 when y'all lost to the Cardinals. No, I will shotgun the beer. You just have to donate the funds. I'm literally one donation away from getting my shirt back on, and I will gladly put it back on. It's been off for a little over 2 months at this point. But I basically said, well, this is actually what I said. If the Arizona Cardinals beat the Dallas Cowboys, I will do the rest of the year with my shirt off. And that is exactly what happened, but the guys gave me an out. The out was to raise $200 for the Great Lakes chapter of Parkinson's Research, and I am at $195. I need one more donation to get me to that $200 mark, and then there is another shotgun. There should be a pinned comment. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, just throw the link back in the chat for
I
the
got
people
you.
who just
I
came.
can pin it real quick. I'm pulling the actual our chat up right now, so I will pin it. Give
And
me a
also
second
keep
here.
in mind, even though we get the shirt back on, we'll
Just
keep
dropped it for you,
doing.
Bob.
we'll
I will still keep doing
the-
shotguns even though the shirt's
I
on.
only
This is a
have-
great cause.
I only have IPAs left in the house, boys. So I went and grabbed the bottle of tequila. I'll do a shot along.
I pinned the comment on our Facebook stream. For those of you that follow us on Facebook, it is now pinned. There's a link to the chapter if you just pop in our Facebook.
Just send Bobby a receipt, or if you can
Yeah,
do
just,
anything,
just take
so
a picture, text it to me, message
Put
me,
it in the
whatever.
chat,
Just let us
whatever.
know, or just post it right in the chat, and we'll shirt up and take another shotgun. Okay.
All right, Bobby, I'll join you on this one.
Let's go, man. We can't let you drink.
Well, first and
alone.
foremost,
We're
I get my shirt back.
we're brothers.
We're doing that.
If I knew, I would have grabbed some light beers, guys. I can't shotgun an IPA.
You're a human being. We get it. It's me. Hi. I'm the problem. It's me.
This might be the most successful show
mean,
we've had. Maybe we should just stop talking about football.
Just start getting fucked up. Welcome to Ryan House Sports.
Sports.
Our family has left us, but we're here. And we're successful now.
And also, we do have these sweet hoodies on sale in our shop. So
Yeah, dude, buy some merch.
and the hats. I'm also wearing a hat.
I'm wearing a
blackout till Black Friday, Rob. This pays.
Blackout win. No shit. All right.
I'm gonna no call, no show my family
Well,
Thanksgiving.
First and foremost, I want to thank everybody in chat, not only for helping me get my shirt back on, but this is a cause that is near and dear to our hearts, especially to one of us here at the Rally Towel Sports family, and that is Todd. Definitely very close to him. So,
love
from
you,
the bottom of my heart for him, thank you guys. It is a great cause that I will always 1,000% shotgun beers for.
Absolutely.
With that being said,
Knife's gonna break.
Did he just yell America?
fuck yeah.
So, real funny story. My kids had a Thanksgiving like performance, I think, or something at school today, and the wife went there and viewed it. It was at like 2 o'clock or some shit, and they went around, and all of the kids in kindergarten said what they were thankful for. So, mommy, Jesus,
Fuck you, Tez.
all of these things. No, they didn't say that, but comes up to Harper, and they say, Harper, what are you thankful for? And she says, the United States of America.
Love that.
Which, awesome, but not typically what a 5-year-old would say.
What are you teaching these girls at home, sir?
Just fucking USA, dog. What do you mean?
America! Fuck yeah!
And they get to Savannah, and they said, Savannah, what are you thankful for? Nature. All right, dude. Cool.
Well, at least she said that and not like international waters.
Yeah, like less strict.
Wait, what was it? What was that? Yeah.
All right.
All right, boys.
All right, let's
Happy
do it.
Thanksgiving.
Cheers.
Ooh, actually pretty smooth.
Pretty full
right.
right now.
Yeah, that was good. Good on us.
Mine was white tequila, so I'm good, but appreciate you boys.
Yeah. That was a room temp. What do you got? Terramana? What are you drinking over there?
Yeah, we got a little Terramana. It's all left over from the summer.
So you can smell what the rock is cooking.
Honestly, it's pretty smooth. I'm very anti like all the celebrity tequilas, whatever. Mary got
that's
it.
one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good.
I like it. Why are you anti-celebrity?
Throw Rob's in the chat there because that's yeah. That's
Corey's shotgun was faster than Aaron's shot of tequila. That's probably accurate.
I have
He's a
I
legend.
have a disease, Sharon.
it's
Stan. That is very sick.
If you don't follow us on TikTok, our very first TikTok ever was Corey on July 4th. He looks the camera just deadpan in the face and goes, "It's a bad day to be a beer," and then just proceeds to just absolutely suck the life out of this beer in less than a second. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
You guys remember seeing the the computer images? Remember that submarine got lost? And they were like, this is what it looks like when the pressure comes in. It just immediately just expands in. That's what Corey does to a fucking beer can. So
these Mick Ultras are turning into Titan 2s.
yes, exactly.
Oh, we're not even through the Thanksgiving games, guys, and we're already off the rails. I love it. I love it. Okay,
fucking Gatorade.
Polar Knights, I
Knights
appreciate
coming
that.
back in. What is going on?
What are you doing? If there's anyone who doesn't need Polar Knights, if there's anyone who doesn't need an ego boost, it's that fucking bastard up there. And you're really cramping my style. It's like fucking. He's 32. He looks 32.
Yeah.
It's chill. When was the last time you got carded, Corey?
Yeah, today? No, I'm just kidding. No, I appreciate that.
Would you get pulled over?
Yeah, right.
License and registration.
Yeah, fuck. It's a nightmare.
Oh, that's funny. Okay.
So there's some football this week.
Yes, the last
yeah.
game on Thursday.
Not even through
Thanksgiving.
Thursday.
On Thursday, sorry. Thanksgiving, excuse me. San Francisco 49ers taking things on the road. Once again, best coach in the NFL, Pete Carroll, and the Seattle Seahawks. Hosting the 49ers. Corey, who do you have?
Yeah, this is again one that I don't want to overthink it too much. I think that maybe potentially the 3-game skid that we saw from the 49ers, maybe that's still lingering in some people's thought process and picking this game. I'm not going to allow that to happen. We saw what they did to the Jaguars coming off the bye. Give me the Niners.
Aaron.
Yeah, they're back. I mean, they're right there. They had a 3-game skid, and I think the bye week came along at the right time. I threw the stat out there when we were picking the games last week of, Kyle Shanahan after the bye, and this is just a different team, guys. San Francisco, I think, is going to keep rolling. Health dependent, of course, just like every other team in the league. But San Francisco rolls here. The Seahawks, I think, were a great story last year. I still think they can be a playoff team, but I'm just not seeing it. That defense is very leaky. I think San Francisco wins, and I think they win big.
Absolutely. Justin, thanks for coming in with the pick. Pops, Josh, Tez, got your picks. Justin, if you want to participate, I keep track of the picks every week. We can keep your record, obviously, for the weeks moving forward. I just need your first 2 picks of the Packers on the road in Detroit and the Commanders on the road in Dallas. So I'm pretty confident you've got the Cowboys, and I would assume you have the Lions, but just want to confirm that. You both have the 49ers this week. Yep. I also have the 49ers. Brock Purdy posting a complete perfect passer rating last week, I think, is one of the most impressive things I've seen in a while. Granted, so I guess my big question is, at this point, because there was a comment that was made that I heard, and it kind of put things in perspective where, if Brock Purdy was a top 10 draft pick, he would be in consideration for the MVP after that performance last week. Granted, he was, Mr. Irrelevant, and now he's not in consideration after that performance. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I don't know.
Sorry, repeat the question.
Brock Purdy is an MVP candidate, and why is he not being talked about as an MVP?
So essentially, the argument is that he's not being considered as an MVP because he was not a top 10 draft pick.
I don't necessarily think that that's the case. I think that we've seen Brock Purdy play without a lead, and I think that is the secret to beating San Francisco, is stopping them early and getting out in front. It's hard to do, but if you can do it, you can beat them. And when San Francisco has to rely on Brock Purdy to lead them, you make them a more so one-dimensional type offense, it hurts them. And that's because Brock Purdy isn't as good. That's not to say Brock Purdy can't lead this team to win a Super Bowl, because I think their roster is good enough to where they can. The defense is stacked. There are horses in every single stable possible, whether they be running back, tight end, wide receiver. They're everywhere. And he's got plenty of weapons around him to be successful. But to say that, when I think about an MVP, I think about someone that elevates the rest of the team. I think the reverse is true for Brock Purdy. I think the team elevates Brock Purdy. Again, I'm not trying to take anything away from him, because when you look at the talent that is around him, it's some of the best players in the league at their position. Even on the defensive side of the ball, that defense lifts up that offense. Absolutely, it does. And it could be, and I say that because you can see the reverse throughout the league, to where a bad offense hinders a defense, or a bad defense hinders an offense. You can see those things happening. It's a team sport for a reason. So to say that Brock Purdy is somebody that is elevating the rest of the team, that is somebody like a CJ Stroud to me. And that's why I feel confident in saying a CJ Stroud is an MVP candidate, but I'm not necessarily ready to see Tank Dell considered a top 10 wide receiver. If that kind of comparison makes sense. There are people around the league that are elevating the rest of their team. And when I think of an MVP, that's what I think of. I don't necessarily point to Brock Purdy as the reason for their success.
He's just a part of it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
No, Corey, you hit it on the head. Sorry, Bobby, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, for once in a long while, there's quite a few people in chat agreeing with Corey.
Hey, man. It's just my fucking day. Dude.
Everyone's in the holiday spirit.
Just they like me today, and
no, I mean, I think Brock
Dolphins are the Steelers yet. That's probably why.
I think Brock Purdy has the disfortune of being in the Kyle Shanahan offense for the MVP conversation. You know, we have seen quarterbacks that have played so well in that system we've seen elsewhere that haven't played very well. There's a reason he was the last pick in the draft. Now you see, like, I look at like the Chiefs game this last week where, let's face it, those wide receivers let him down. The fact that the Chiefs are still in that position is more of an indication of why Patrick Mahomes is an MVP candidate for me, as opposed to somebody like Brock Purdy. And it always comes back to Nick Mullins stat. And I had to pull it up while you were talking, Corey. There was only 2 quarterbacks in NFL history that had thrown for 2,600 yards and 14 touchdowns in their first 9 career starts, Patrick Mahomes and Nick fucking Mullins. It's because literally Kyle Shanahan every game is just like, I'm gonna spoon feed this to you, and all you have to do is look at one read, maybe the second read. Not to mention you have Christian McCaffrey scoring a touchdown every freaking game. You know, minus
except for
one.
last week.
Yeah, well, he did last. It was the week prior,
or the week
right?
prior.
And it's just, you can't give the MVP to somebody who is basically just holding the wheel at the ship. You know what I mean? It's not anything that is of impressiveness. Yeah. Now, Mahomes and you know, maybe Hurts, Stroud, who we have mentioned before. You know, frankly, guys, I would, you know, love to get away from this idea that the quarterback is the only position that can win the most valuable player. And there's 2 players that come to mind when I say that, and it's Tyreek Hill, and it's Myles Garrett. Those are players that are actually making a difference on the field, that just aren't necessarily putting up these ridiculous stats, but are the reason that these teams are. If you take those, the definition of most valuable player to me is take them off of the team, and what would their record be? I think both of those teams would be outside of the playoffs.
It's an interesting point.
Yeah, I mean,
unfortunately, when you say that, though, it's like automatically there are a lot of like, take Patrick Mahomes off the field, the Chiefs aren't good. So
I agree. No, I think quarterback, there's a reason that they win the MVP most often, and of course the last one to do it is Adrian Peterson. But this is also a year where quarterback play has been definitely below average, and agreed. Because it's hard for me to give MVP to Mahomes when I've seen better seasons from him, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely it does.
And the same reason why Jalen Hurts, I think right now, is probably the favorite, because they beat the Chiefs last week. But it's tough for me to just put the trophy in his lap when
top 3 in interceptions.
Well, but he had like that game last week, or the game on Monday. Like he's like, it's like process of elimination of I guess it's Hurts.
Yeah.
So
so maybe we need to redefine the award.
Well, I kind of want to touch on what I believe Corey touched on last week or the week prior. A couple comments rolling in. CJ makes him and top 10, which is why CJ is an MVP candidate. And I think that's in relation to Tank Dell. Mm-hmm. CJ obviously makes Tank Dell, conversationally a top 10, and that's why he's a candidate. And then he was asking about CeeDee Lamb. I don't think CeeDee Lamb makes or breaks the Cowboys. I think he's a great addition to the Cowboys. I think he's obviously a top 10 receiver, no question about it. Arguably top 5.
Dak is arguably.
I was just going to say, it's not CeeDee, but you can argue that if Dak keeps playing the way that he has the last 5, 6, 7 weeks.
And there has been like a
Dak. Don't
get actually
savings.
There has been like a conversation that's been rolling around that I've thought about recently. Something I saw earlier in the season where it was like Dak Prescott would be, a perennial MVP candidate if he wasn't playing in Dallas. It's just because he's playing in Dallas that it's just such a big stage. It's
Any
American
narrative,
team, and there's such a big
any
like,
narrative to me that wants to.
But I mean, when if you took Dak Prescott's stats blindly and put them up against somebody else,
no.
Dallas.
I get it. I get it.
I think Dak Prescott is a top. This season top 5 quarterback.
No, and I would absolutely agree with that. The way he's playing right now, absolutely. But what I'm going to absolutely reject every single time is any fucking narrative that gives oh, Dallas, woe is Dallas. It's just being in Dallas is hard. Shut the fuck up. They suck your dick every fucking year, dude. Every year they just blow the Cowboys, and they haven't done shit since the mid 90s. So I'm not saying that they can't do something this year. Let me be very clear about that. But
I'm just fatigued by it.
I'm not buying any fucking narrative it's just a hard road being in Dallas, dude.
Shut
the fuck up, dude. No,
so I do want to ask
Bobby,
this question in regards to Dallas. Who do you think is the more impactful player on that defense? Is it Trayvon Diggs, or is it?
Well, it's Parsons. I mean, Diggs is
Micah
out.
Parsons. No,
So
but I'm saying
Parsons,
when
Parsons.
Trayvon Diggs went out, that defense fell apart for a few weeks.
It's a fair question, but I'm not big on Trayvon because of one thing. Yes, he gets a lot of takeaways. He also gets fucking toasted a lot.
No, but what I'm saying is don't get me wrong. I think Micah Parsons but at the beginning of the season we were talking about Micah Parsons as a defensive player of the year, and when Trayvon Diggs went out, Micah Parsons fell off the fucking map. And
defensive player of the year oftentimes becomes what MVP in the NBA is. Who's the best player on the best team? It's the best unit.
Who's more important to that team? Is it Trayvon Diggs or is it Micah Parsons? I'm not saying Micah Parsons has had a bad season by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm saying that defense just faltered quite a bit when Trayvon Diggs went out.
So I think that your dad's comment distracted. We're rambling. Yeah, of course, we're fucked up.
We've shotgunned quite a few beers, Pops. But we're rambling.
Here's
we can't edit it.
Where I land on the Trayvon, the Diggs Parsons thing. I can replace Trayvon Diggs' production. I can replace that. I can't replace what Micah Parsons brings to that defensive line.
Just playing devil's advocate over here, boys.
No, I know, and I'm answering.
While I have it up, to tie a bow on the MVP talk here, is I pulled the odds, right? So I was right. Jalen Hurts is the odds-on favorite at plus 250. Lamar Jackson at plus 420. Patrick Mahomes plus 460.
So Lamar Jackson's really made it he's.
Well, I mean, the Ravens are the number 1 seed, and
I mean,
and then Tua's at plus 500, and then giant drop to Dak Prescott at plus 1500.
Where's CJ Stroud in that?
CJ Stroud is at plus 1800. So he's right below. He's right
his
below.
His odds
Dak.
have improved since I put a bet on him.
Brock is tied with Dak at plus 1500. You have Christian McCaffrey at plus 4,000, Tyreek Hill at plus 6,000, and then the only non-offensive player on the board here is Myles Garrett at plus 15,000.
I like a 1,500 value in this type of race.
I put a.
I would like Dak
to win MVP.
Yeah,
this is a flyer. It was a free bet from ESPN Bet, the new app, and I put a future free bet on CJ Stroud to win MVP.
There you go.
I just think it's so hard for the voters to get past the rookie part of it.
Yeah.
I agree, but I mean it was free money, so I was like,
because if Tyreek Hill gets to 2,000 yards,
yeah, this isn't the baseball community.
It could happen. I'm taking the Angels in the outfield, kind of.
It could happen.
It could happen.
Now Charlie's right. We should move on.
Yes, we should move on. Thanks, Pops. Thanks for doing what I should be doing and keeping us on track. But
you're exactly where you're supposed to be.
Kind of out the window. I do want to address a comment from Justin. He is a diehard Dallas fan. He's saying Trayvon Diggs is more important. Then Micah Parsons. This coming from a Cowboys fan. More important, but he gambles. I'll take the plus of the gambles over the minus of no fear from a QB from that side of the field. So, interesting take.
Yeah, I think both can place fear in a quarterback, right? Pass rush and lockdown corner, right? Like both can
Yeah.
impact a quarterback's decision making for sure.
Absolutely. So I used to work with J. Rob. He said Tim and Dalen and him did the same on the future with CJ Stroud, and that makes me feel good because they are all very degenerates, just like us.
Hey, welcome.
We'll have a very great matchup this week. We'll
yeah,
get into that.
Absolutely.
When we get there.
Okay, so I want to get in. We have a Friday game this week, guys.
Love it.
Friday
Love it.
night lights.
Beautiful.
Not that it's going to be a good game, but we have Friday night lights nonetheless. We have the Miami
Another
Dolphins.
divisional game.
Another divisional game. We have the Miami Dolphins taking things up to New York to take on the Jets. The Jets making a change at quarterback, taking on a Dolphins team that's yikes. It's just I just don't see this being a good game whatsoever. But yet again, we have football on Friday. So we've got the Dolphins at the Jets. I'm going to start with Todd's pick since we got the Friday game this week. Todd is taking the Dolphins. The Jets are absolute buns. Not bums, buns. This is probably a typo, but I'm reading it as it was
He's saying
No.
buns.
He's saying cheeks.
Oh, yeah, there you go. See, that's why I read it as it was typed to me. Jets defense will be exhausted, and McDaniel will take advantage. Those are his comments, and I do not disagree with him in any way, shape, or form. The Dolphins are going to absolutely smack the Jets this week. I don't see this being close. What's the spread on this?
9.5 is what it opened at. I don't know where it's at now.
Yeah, I would take the Dolphins plus 13.5 or minus 13.5 and just
I'd
ride
take a
it.
plus 13.5 too. What's the juice?
Negative 20,000.
Yeah.
Minus 13.5.
No, so I'm with you here. Like taking the Dolphins. I'm not going to take a money line bet against that spread. That's just silly. Just getting a little Mike White vibes here. I'm just saying. Just let me throw it. Okay. I'm just saying. I'm not taking the Jets. I'm not taking the Jets. Just saying.
The Jets found the only quarterback in the world worse than Zach Wilson. Can I read you these stats?
Who's their quarterback? I don't even know who their
Tim
quarterback
Boyle.
Oh,
His combined career
It's a
college
sexy
and
name.
pro stats: 15
Boyle.
touchdowns, 35 picks.
it's really good.
So
Between
what you're saying
college
is we need
and
to take
pros.
we need to take the over on his picks.
He had a negative touchdown interception ratio. Yeah, but what's the juice going to be on that? Like, that's not even worth it.
It's like a free bet.
Can I bet 2 picks? The line is probably 1.5.
I'll look it up right now while you're going on your point.
They're like, the Jets are absolutely terrible. And I'm not saying Zach Wilson was any good, but do you guys remember how he played against the Chiefs? Like really, really well.
Yeah, he balled
This
out.
is how weird football is. He's the only guy to beat the Eagles this year. It doesn't make any fucking sense. I'm taking
Wait,
it. I'm taking it.
aren't the Eagles? They have 2 losses.
No, they have 1.
No, one. They beat the
It's just
Chiefs.
one?
Yeah, they lost to the Jets. They lost to the Zach Wilson
Wow.
led Jets. Again, divisional matchup.
Is that Susan Boyle's brother? No, it's not. But
It
that's
should be.
hilarious.
I'm taking the Dolphins, obviously, and this is one where
It is at 1.5, by the way.
yeah, it
And
should
guess
be.
what, Aaron? It's at plus 146.
Oh yeah, I'm hammering that actually.
I'm doing that right now.
I'm not parlaying that with anything.
Just straight
Just
bet.
straight bet.
Just
throw-
straight up.
throw-
It's
throw-
already
just
parlayed with itself.
10 units on the over on that one. Absolutely.
I'm placing the bet as we speak.
Okay. So we've all got the Dolphins. Justin, Bruce, if you guys want to continue to participate in the picks, just let me know who you got. I would imagine everybody's got the Dolphins, so I'm just going to go ahead and shoot that one in for you. And we will move on finally to the Sunday games at 1:00.
Dude, this slate is fucking brutal, man. We're going to have a lot of fucking going one way or the other on this slate.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fucking good
Yeah.
games.
So
on
the
Sunday.
first 4 games, nobody deviated, and
yeah, but
there was no
That's
no
gonna
way
change.
that it's gonna change real quick. First game, we've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking things on the road to Indianapolis.
dude, what the fuck is this?
If
Fucking
anybody
Jim
has a
Irsay,
coin in their
this
wallet,
fucking piece of shit.
just pull it out, flip it, and let me know what it lands on. Corey, lead us off. Buccaneers on the road in Indy. Who you got?
Well, first of all, I feel that it would be a disservice not to comment on Jim Irsay. Did anyone see Jim Irsay?
Yes.
What
Yes.
the fuck his stupid face extruded from his mouth today? What an absolute asshole. As a white male billionaire, I am prejudiced against. Shut the fuck up, dude.
Oh, so we're talking about 2 different things.
Oh no, what did you hear, Aaron? Go ahead.
Oh, the tweet he sent about the
The
woman
release
who's
of
no, the woman who's like who goes before Stephen A or after or precedes Stephen A. So after, and he makes a comment of like, my mom was black, and what he's
What?
referring to is The Help.
Oh, yeah, you're a dumbass. Okay? I don't know how much cocaine has just rotted the frontal fucking lobe of your
I have to pull
brain
it up.
to where you can't think
I
normally
need you to read
anymore.
this quote verbatim because this
What
is
a
not the one that I
stupid,
heard. It was the one.
stupid
It was the one
bastard.
about the release of whoever the player they just released.
Jack Leonard, yeah.
Jack Leonard. Yes. Yeah, I didn't hear whatever you.
Someone got into the Thanksgiving sauce a little early.
Dude,
Just saying.
fucking nose candy for days. We have an
I did,
addict on our
but
hands, ladies and
Not
gentlemen.
that early.
Okay.
He needs help. Like he has CTE without playing football at this point.
It's cocaine.
He is. He's a
DTE,
guy
but
who's.
the C is cocaine.
And I don't
Okay,
know that
so-
he is still an addict, but I know that he had a past.
So here we go. And on First Take, the woman that precedes Stephen A. How dare you pretend to know me? I don't know your name and I don't care to. Angry emoji face. If my black mother Dorothy was still alive, you'd be in some big hot water! Exclamation point. You are mean and ugly. Upside down frowny face. You're a nothing burger. Frowny face. She actually had a great just quote tweet response, which was your with the apostrophe RE with the asterisk.
Yeah, nice.
So
So that was in what I'm sure she was commenting on his original point, which got him into the news in the first place, was something saying that due to the fact that he is a white male billionaire, he is prejudiced against. Shut the fuck up, I think is all that you can really say to somebody that says some stupid shit like that. You have $1 billion. Shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. Like, don't talk. The worst owners in all of sports are the ones whose names we know.
right.
If you know who the owner is, they're bad. Tell me who's
Save
the who's
for
the owner
maybe
of the
like-
Ravens? Who's the
I
owner of
don't
the
know.
Ravens? Exactly.
Well,
Exactly.
the Models. Or wait,
Well,
are they still?
It's not. It's
Yeah.
not. Unless it's your team, obviously you know who the owner is.
There are a couple exceptions, I will say.
Robert
I would
Kraft,
I would
obviously,
say
but
the
he's still an
Steelers
asshole, too.
organization.
I was gonna say like
there
Mark
was,
Cuban.
like the Roonies.
Yeah, but you know the Roonies because you're a Steelers fan. An average person doesn't know who that is.
That's true.
You know what? You only hear about an owner when they're a dumbass. And Jim Irsay is a fucking idiot. And I feel so bad for Colts fans because, like, you know what? You got a Super Bowl. I don't feel that bad for you, but you went through 2 generational quarterbacks. One you made retire early, and
You
now
got booed off the field.
you've got
Yeah, but like
got
Kate
it.
Mara, dude.
Yeah.
Is that wait? What, Kate
Wait,
Mara,
Andrew
what?
Luck's married to Kate Mara?
No, Kate Mara is like Kate Mara and Rooney Mara are like the grandchildren of the Rooney family.
No
Oh.
shit.
Oh, but I'm talking about
Sorry,
Sorry.
talking about the
Jim Irsay.
Colts.
anyway. You've I don't know where the direction of this franchise is going, but as long as Jim Irsay's at the front of it, it's going to be a bad direction. That's all. I'm not putting any faith
That's
in this
fair.
organization. They've had no direction since Andrew Luck retired, and I feel bad for Colts fans, man, because it's a good fan base. It's a passionate fan base. They got a hell of a stadium. They got a hell of a environment that they produce there as a fan base, and it just sucks, man. It sucks.
Yeah, but cocaine, dude.
Yeah, right. This guy's a fucking asshole. And it's at some points it's funny. Like it used to be funny to watch Jim Irsay be an idiot. Now it's at a point to where it's like, stop fucking talking. I don't want to hear you. What you're saying does not produce any good for anyone else. Go away. Go away. That's what I have to say, Jim Irsay.
You know it's bad when we both go, oh, yeah, did you see Jim Irsay today? And we're talking about different fucking stories.
Yeah. Yeah. Terrible. Give me the Buccaneers. Gardner Minshew, not Gardner Minshew of 2 years ago. Give me the Bucs.
I'm taking the Bucs as well. It has nothing to do with the Irsay part of it. But yeah, Minshew he's better in relief. He's a good, I would love to have Minshew as a backup quarterback. That would be, phenomenal. They have good players. Taylor has actually been getting better and better week in.
Pittman had a good week last week.
Yeah, Pittman played really well last week as well. But even watching the Bucs against the 49ers last week, I think the 49ers are just like a class above, and they've proven it again after, the skid that they had. I thought the Bucs actually played okay. It was just, it's hard to keep pace with that.
They're feisty.
Yeah, they're feisty, and I'll take them in this game as well.
So I'll lead with Todd's pick. Todd, he's also taking the Buccaneers. He said, I liked what I saw from Tampa Bay's offense against the 49ers. Colts defense gives up a lot of points. That's the reason why he's taking the Buccaneers. I don't see any reason to fade you guys this week.
Yeah.
I really like what I've seen from Baker Mayfield. And, we consistently talk about how important the quarterback position is. And I think Baker Mayfield will be the best quarterback on the field, on Sunday.
That's a good point.
I mean, he should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no doubt that he should be. So
number one overall pick.
It's like, I'm not. Yeah, that's the Jim Irsay. I'm a rich billionaire.
Just saying. I do like
that's why you pulled me over.
Yeah, I got the Buccaneers. There's one lone wolf this week taking the Colts, and that is Pops. Pops taking the Colts.
Don't hate the flyer on it. By any means, Colts win this game. I'm not
not.
like.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
I'm not shocked.
I'm not surprised.
So that is the first diversion in the entire 5-game slate that we had just previously talked about. So way to go out on the limb there. Next game, we've got the severely struggling New England Patriots taking things on the road to MetLife, taking on the Giants.
This game fucking blows, dude.
This is a terrible game.
This sucks.
Absolutely terrible. Let's lead in with Todd's pick, shall we?
Yeah.
So we've got Todd taking the Giants on their home turf. Tommy Touchdowns does it again. Battle of the two worst teams in the NFL. Gross. Those are the comments. So Todd is taking the New York Football Giants over the New England Patriots on their home turf. Corey, who do you got?
I'm with Todd on this one. It's crazy, but I'm going to ride the hot hand. Maybe the Giants can find, lightning in a bottle to kind of end this season. It's not going to salvage anything. They're not going to compete for playoffs or anything like that. But the Giants aren't a team that is playing for draft picks, right? They've already hitched their wagon to Daniel Jones, at least monetarily, or at least from a facade standpoint. And they've got a lot of money tied up in Saquon as well. So it's not like they need to be in a top 5 situation. I think they can go out there and play their best football and still end up with a top 10 pick. And they're going to be just fine with that from a front office standpoint. They're going to feel comfortable from that standpoint, whether that puts them in a, Marvin Harrison Jr., Brock Bowers type conversation. I'm not really sure about that, but crazy that we're already talking draft at this point, but yeah, I'm gonna go with the hot team. I'm gonna go with the Giants. They look good. They looked good last week.
We are 12 weeks into the season, Corey.
I know it sucks, man. Fuck it. I hate it. I just want football all the time.
Aaron.
I can't describe the Giants as a hot football team. They won a game against a divisional opponent in the Commanders.
Comparatively speaking.
And I think we're forgetting how bad DeVito looked before that. Keep in mind, he lives at home with his parents. This game is at home. Awesome. He lives 20 miles from the stadium. That boy is eating on Thursday. He's not eating on Sunday.
Bro.
Huh?
He's got meetings.
No. He's having Thanksgiving.
They have practice. No, Thursday they have practice, dude.
Yeah, they do. And what do they do after practice?
Full pads.
Yeah. I'm taking the Patriots. I don't think they're great by any means. This is really the toilet bowl.
You got me rooting for the
week.
Giants, dude. God damn it.
So, Aaron, I'm also riding this train with you and taking the Patriots.
Yeah.
I
riding or running.
Either way, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter which adjective you use. I am taking the Patriots in this one for the sole reason that I think Bill Belichick needs to prove a point that he's still a good coach.
I agree.
And this is a team to do it against. The Giants are bad. Okay, it doesn't matter if they have Saquon. Doesn't matter if Daniel Jones is on the field. Doesn't matter who's on the field.
Guys, tell me who the starting
Bailey
quarterback
Zappi
is going to be for the Patriots
starting
on Sunday.
for the Patriots on Sunday.
Yeah, good luck.
And I will take Bailey Zappi over whoever the fucking New York Football Giants decide to put on.
Danny DeVito.
I think the Patriots finally run the ball with Stevenson's and give him like 25 touches, control the clock.
Yep.
And again, I don't want to break down this game much more.
Dude, Bailey Zappi sucks.
But I don't like.
But DeVito sucks too.
DeVito's terrible too. This game is a literal coin flip.
It is. I don't want to.
It's a literal coin flip, and I'm taking the better coaching. So I guess not. Maybe. I'm
Jets with me, baby. Let's go.
So if the Giants win,
is
Bill Belichick done? Good question. Is Bill Belichick done? Is he out?
It's all part of the plan.
No,
I don't think the Patriots get rid of Bill Belichick, even if they lose every other game. Well, I have no doubt in my mind that this is Bill Belichick's last season
with the Patriots.
I disagree.
I think I'm comfortable enough now to say that this is his last season.
Are you saying coaching or are you saying with the Patriots?
With the Patriots.
Yeah. You'll never read Patriots fire Bill Belichick. It might be the resigned thing, but it like same thing with why we were surprised. Yeah. Like that, it's not going to happen. You can't win that many Super Bowls for an organization and be fired.
No,
they'll ride it out to the end of the year because
he won every single one of the Super Bowls that they have in their trophy case.
Exactly. There's no reason to fire him. And let's say he is bad. And I'm not even necessarily saying that he is good right now or is still a great coach. But if that's the case for the Patriots, you have no incentive to win this year. You want to get one of these quarterbacks. Like keep trotting out what you're doing. Either way, the Giants won last week, and I don't think the Giants still what Corey said, I disagree with. You can draft a rookie quarterback. You can get out of Daniel Jones's contract after next year. So if you draft a rookie quarterback,
cap guy.
Yeah, if you draft a rookie quarterback, fine. Sit him for a little bit. Who knows when the Giants buy is going to be next year? And if you can get out of his contract the year after, you can start that guy whenever because you're committing the same amount of money as a team that, still less than the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Eagles, the Bengals, the Browns you're still committing less to the quarterback position than those teams. It really doesn't matter. The cap is a myth when it comes to that kind of shit. The Giants will absolutely draft a quarterback this year if they can land a top 3 pick. No doubt in my mind. None.
Yeah. No, I do not disagree with you in any way, shape, or form. All right. Let's move on. Next 1:00 game we've got the Carolina Panthers this is another game that's just going to be a complete toss-up. We've got the Carolina Panthers taking things on the road in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
This is a game that literally could go either way. Aaron, I'll let you lead this one off. Panthers on the road in Tennessee. Who you got?
Yeah, I don't think Vegas agrees with you. It's 3.5 for Tennessee. Carolina's been really, really bad. Oddly enough, their only win this year is against Houston. This game's in Tennessee. I have to take the Titans for no other reason than that. Levis is after that, awesome first performance has been pedestrian at best. I think it levels out a little bit, especially like this is a really good spot for him, to kind of get back to right. But I'm going to take the Panthers here. I'm going to take the Titans here. I see what I was going to say is I see Corey writing something down, which means he's going to take the Panthers because all he wants to do is go with me. Go ahead. Let's throw to Corey. Corey, what do you think?
Yeah, it's really hard to go 1-16. This is a great game for the Panthers to win. Give me the Panthers. Will Levis sucks ass. Not
Corey's got his note card next to him on Sundays. He'd be like, "What did Aaron do?"
No, I'm going down to Cincinnati tomorrow morning, so I'm going to take a picture of the discrepancies that I've got here.
I just wanted to remind you have to root for the Giants and the Panthers.
Yeah, you have to root for New England and Tennessee. So it's not like we're like in better spots here. Like this is one of those teams is on a 1-game winning streak. And it's not the Patriots. We'll put it that way. No, I think like this is absolutely a game Carolina can win. It's absolutely a game they can win. Like if either of those games go one way or the other, neither of us are surprised, right? It's like, yeah, okay. And I think there's a lot of games like that this week, to be fair. I think there's a lot of opportunity for us to be very different on a lot of these football games, but it just something about Tennessee I don't trust. Will Levis I absolutely don't trust. So this is going to present opportunities for Carolina, and they have beaten a pretty good football team before, so I know that they can do it. So yeah, give me a flyer on the Panthers this week.
1 second here.
So while Bobby is taking that break, I just want to give a quick shout out to every single person that has liked the stream tonight. I want to give a shout out to one of our longest and most faithful listeners, Baru Scrub and Dub. You can follow him on Facebook. He is a gaming streamer. You can follow his page there. Lots of different RPGs. Mary giving us a like. We love you, Mary. Thank you so much. Say hello to Todd. We miss him. Dina, thank you so much for liking the stream. I'm going to invite you to like the page on Facebook as well. Ricky, appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for liking the stream. Tez liking the stream as well. If you're watching us right now and you haven't liked, and especially if you haven't shared the stream, share it. Tell all your friends what you're doing. You're hanging out with Rally Town Sports on the biggest bar night of the year. We're having beers. We're talking sports. We're getting silly. And if you also are getting a little sleepy, don't worry. You can catch the rest of this pod at some point tomorrow or throughout the week on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Corey, thank you for that.
Yes, sir.
So we've got quite a mix here. We've got mostly everybody taking the Titans here. We've got Justin, Josh, Tez, Charlie, Aaron taking the Titans. We've got Corey and Todd with the Panthers this week.
I didn't hear Todd's pick, but that's interesting.
Yeah. So
Does that make you feel better or worse?
I don't know. He was tied with you with the best week last week, so he's on.
That's
Yeah,
true.
So Todd's been kind of turning things around. Todd's reasoning
shook it up
for
in the locker
taking
room.
the
I gotta
Carolina
appreciate it.
Panthers this week. Another awful matchup. Just don't see the Titans being able to go touchdown for touchdown with Carolina. Jeffrey Simmons gets 2 personal fouls. That is
Gets
Todd's
ejected.
prediction.
He would be ejected at that point.
Yeah, that is Todd's prediction for this week with this game. That being said, he is taking the Carolina Panthers. So, which leaves us at a standstill. Do I let Aaron take a solo here and take the Tennessee Titans, or do I ride with Aaron and split it 50-50? That's the big
You
question.
tell me, bub.
But
Find out next week on Dragon Ball Z.
but no, I am not going to let Aaron fly solo on this one. I think Will Levis and the Tennessee Titans pull this one out at home.
You the real MVP, Bob.
You know, at this point in games that are toss ups, I'm taking the home team. You know, I think there's no other real logic behind it other than that. It's the home team. And
I'll give you the logic. It's a 3.5 point spread.
But so here's my thing. Like you say this every week, week in and week out. The favorites cannot win every single game. And this is a game that I see that could go the other way, which is the reason why I'm not lightly taking the Titans. I'm taking the Titans, but
like I said earlier,
think,
are we surprised if either team wins either of the last 2 games we talked about? No.
But there's a lot more juicy favors. So yes, Bob, you're right. I do say that, but not a 3.5 like that. A 1, like you got Cincinnati isn't favored this week. I think they can win this week. We already took the Bucks over the Colts. The Colts are 2.5 point favorites. Like there's enough on this board right now where this one to me isn't. I'm not going to put my nuts on the table for this game by any means, but I'm feeling good about this one.
No, I just want to throw it out there. You know,
you're right. You're right.
Always,
I do say that.
Yeah, I want to make sure that past statements are continually represented in this podcast. That being said, you did bring up the Bengals game and them being dogs. We have the Steelers taking things on the road here to Paycor. Backup quarterback against a Steelers defense that is questionable at this point, and a quarterback. Fired offensive coordinator. We've got a 2-man tandem between the running backs coach and the quarterbacks coach calling plays for the Steelers this week.
We're gonna find out whose fault it is.
I'm not exactly. I'm not sure what to think at this point. You know, Aaron, you're obviously the outside take on this game. I'd love to hear what you have to say on it.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about this a lot. Where I think this falls into the same like fired coach territory. I think this might be addition by subtraction here for Pittsburgh. Not necessarily Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett looked bad last week. And
my exact comments in the group chat for those of you that are not a part of it. I sent Kenny Pickett and an equal sign and a trash can.
So here's what play calling can make a difference for. Jaylen Warren was easily the best player on the field last week.
No question.
9 carries. 9 carries. I think you're going to see a giant difference in how this offense distributes the ball. I think you're going to see, you might actually see George Pickens running across the field rather than down the sideline, as opposed to where Kenny Pickett can't deliver the ball. He can deliver it across the middle.
He can deliver it to the sideline. It's just nobody's there.
Yeah. Oh my God. I can't tell you. I'm sorry. I'm watching this game. I have some friends over. I just bursted out laughing, dude. Because that ball, that was the first time you've all seen it.
I was like, holy shit, he's taking it downfield. Let's go. And then there was just not a fucking soul in sight.
You've all seen the play. But it was the first time that Kenny Pickett actually kind of like aired it out in the game. And I'm like, you have that half second before the camera pans and you're looking at it. And I'm like, oh. And then there's just
ghost town.
There's a ghost town. This one is the hardest one for me, I would say, this week, because obviously with Joe Burrow being out, of course that's important. This would be a slam dunk for me from a pick standpoint of who I'm going to take. But on the reverse side of it, the Bengals have a lot of really good skill position guys. Browning isn't necessarily, I wasn't discouraged by anything I saw with him on Thursday. Give him a full week of practice. And I think we could see, I think he could play okay. It's tough to be thrown in a Thursday night football game. It's already a short week, let alone, hey buddy, you got to go out and play now the number one, team in the league. I'm really, really torn on this one. I'm going to take the Bengals because I just think they have better players. But what I will say is I think the line is appropriate for this game because I could see the Steelers just having one of those games where it's, all right, offensive coordinator is gone, and now we get the ball to the players who are actually good, and let's draw up a different game plan. My only issue with that is I don't think Pickett is good at all. So I'm going to take the Bengals on the sure fact of give Browning a full week and let's find a way for him to get Jamar Chase in space. Corey Higgins still out?
As far as I know, I haven't heard otherwise.
And Mixon's good, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I can't go against the Bengals here just for the sure fact of what I saw last week, and it really didn't have much to do with the offensive coordinator for me.
Corey.
Oh, giving it over to me.
I mean, I
was over here looking up.
I'll lead if you want me to. If you got something you're looking up.
Yeah, I'm just looking up Browning's stats from last week. I can go ahead, but 8 of 14 with a touchdown, rating of 93.
He was, yeah.
If this helps you, Todd is taking the Bengals. Firing Matt Canada does not fix the lack of production from Pickett. Tandem in Pitt's backfield is interesting. Bengals will find a way. Slow Warren down, which is all it takes to currently shut down that offense. Browning plays clock manager and wins that battle.
So just some injury news as to what we're hearing. This is as of today. Cam Taylor-Britt did not practice today. Sam Hubbard was a limited participant, which is good news for the Bengals, seeing him back out there. Andre Yoshivas, limited. T. Higgins did not practice on Wednesday. Just giving you some insight here. BJ Hill is questionable.
Sorry. The
BJ
Bengals
Hill,
on the mini bye.
Yeah, Bengals on the mini bye.
Knowing you're not getting Burrow that whole week.
Listen, man, like they got fucked up in that Thursday night game. The Ravens as well. Like the Bengals got hurt bad in that Thursday night game. Like they're already short on the defensive line. We're seeing the impact of not having a Sam Hubbard on this defensive line. BJ Hill got dinged up. Apparently DJ Reader is questionable as well. We're already missing T. Higgins, our number 2 wide receiver. Andre Yoshivas, who has been the kind of number 3 outside of the slot. Obviously Tyler Boyd having that spot, but Andre Yoshivas getting hurt, the rookie out of Princeton. And the injuries were just seemingly piled up. And then obviously everything coming with Joe Burrow. And, I'll comment on the accusations that the Bengals were covering up some sort of injury. Did you watch him any part of the game leading up to the injury? And all the passes that he was making leading up to that, I think that would give you any inclination as to where Joe Burrow was from a health perspective and how he was, able to grip the football. So yeah, a little bit of an interesting perspective. I think Dave Portnoy is good at being really loud and obnoxious, and he's made that a bigger issue than it is. We haven't heard anything about it, so that would lead me to tell that there's nothing serious to report about
for the
Bengals.
Burrow thing.
Yeah, about the Burrow injury thing.
The NFL is investigating it.
Yeah, they're investigating it. And we haven't heard anything since.
Well,
Thursday.
That's not an investigation. Isn't going to happen in a week.
Sure.
I agree with you.
Yeah, they're investigating it. I don't know what they could possibly, like Joe Burrow was not limited in practice. Media are available to practice. Joe Burrow came out, warmed up, looked fine throughout the game.
Honestly, dude, it's the short week thing.
Yeah, he came.
You don't have to report anything till when. Like it's nothing to me. I agree.
Yeah, he came down on it. Clowney landed on him, on his hand, and then it got fucked up. And that's what it is. Good news for Bengals fans. There's a 90% recovery, 100% recovery, a 90% chance of 100% recovery on this type of injury for Burrow. So that's great news. And Browning never has done anything to have impressed me. Brandon Allen, obviously a lot worse, but Browning did okay. 8 of 14, QBR 93, touchdown. Like you said, Aaron, getting thrown into a game on a short week. Not great there. The only good news is that, like, these guys got time with Jake Browning in training camp with Burrow being hurt. Like, they've had time with him. And I think you saw that on that garbage time touchdown to Chase. Like, that was a pylon throw where Jamar ran a good route and Browning threw a perfect ball. He's athletic. He can move. He's been in big games before. This guy's not just some scrub. He went to Washington. Like, he's played in meaningful college football games, right? So
we watched DTR out dual Pickett last week.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. That, 100%. So here's a couple of big factors leading into this game. The Bengals have benched Nick Scott, free agent acquisition from the Rams. He is no longer the starting safety. The Bengals have two safeties with a combined experience of less than 3 years. Jordan Battle and Dax Hill are the two safeties for the Cincinnati Bengals going forward. Something to watch out. Especially if Cam Taylor-Britt is hurt. It's going to be interesting to see what goes on with that corner situation as well. So, but them naming Jordan Battle the starter leads me to believe that Cam Taylor-Britt is going to be fine. He's going to continue, he's going to be able to play in this game, and you'll have Chidobe and Cam out there on the corners. Joe Mixon is going to be a big part of this offense. He has to be. I think they have to continue to utilize him. And this is a make or break game at this point. Like, this is going to decide whether or not the Bengals have a possibility, not saying that they will have it, but a possibility of having
Bob, take that nose off the mic, dude.
A Nick Foles type, a Nick Foles season, right? Like, that happened. A backup quarterback won a Super Bowl. It happened. I'm not saying it's likely. Let me be very clear about that. But this game can make or break that. Like, if they lose, that's gone. You have a losing record. That hope and dream is gone. But if you win, the hope is alive. So I'm doing a little schedule looking. The Bengals play the Steelers twice, the Colts, and the Vikings. If they win those 4 games, they will be 9-8. And there is a possibility that they make the playoffs. Not saying it's going to happen, but there's a possibility. If they sweep the Steelers, beat the Colts, and beat the Vikings, there's a possibility that they end up 9-8. If they can even get that last win against the Browns, they're 10-7.
Real quick,
and that almost locks them into the playoffs.
Is there a weird part of you knowing that Burrow's out that you kind of just want to pack it in? And
At first, but I think I'm where you were at this point last week. I think I'm there now. I'm at that point. And I think I was there a couple of days ago to where I said, fuck it. We're going to fucking do this. We're going to see what happens. Like, I will not stop rooting for my team until they're mathematically eliminated.
Okay.
Like, I won't do it. Like, people were texting me like, well, guess you can root for the Lions now. Fuck off. Not going to happen. Like, yeah, I'll cheer them on. Like, I want them to do well. And once my team is eliminated, yes, that's who I want to win the Super Bowl. But up until that point, it's Bengals. And that's it. And no other team exists. So I'm going to say 2 words and then make my pick. Ryan Finley. Go Bengals.
Fair enough. So there is quite a bit of disparity. We have pretty much everybody taking the Bengals. J-Rob is taking the Steelers this week. And then there's my pick, where I'm on the fence here. You know, we have a situation where we finally got rid of the greatest cancer, which was our offensive coordinator this week. But then again, it's a short week. And how much can you rebound from that? I've been on this. I've been bouncing back and forth on this pick all day, boys.
Really?
I was too, for the record. Yeah,
I thought this would be a slam dunk for you, Bob.
Yeah, you know, every week, you know, I've continued. I've hedged my happiness, and I've just taken the team that was playing the Steelers, and lo and behold, they went on some crazy win streak. Yep. Every week that I hedged my happiness, they ended up winning. Last week, I did not hedge my happiness, and then they lost. in a heartbreaker, which
Do it
they
again.
should have,
Don't
which they should have
hedge.
won.
I didn't head shit.
Yeah, and I'm
I
not
hedged and we lost.
I'm not hedging my
Quarterback
happiness
got
this
hurt.
week, boys. I'm taking
It's
the
a good
Steelers.
feeling when you don't and they win, though.
I'm taking the
Yeah.
Steelers. There's going to be a
Good for you, man.
vibrance from the Steelers this week that we haven't seen all year, and it's going to be because Matt Canada's not there. The one guy that didn't blame anything on Matt Canada was Najee Harris. He's the guy that came out and said, "Hey, we're playing soft. We're not playing, strong football all year." Never blamed anybody.
All right.
Last week, when he was asked after the loss, he was like,
He was defeated.
he was defeated. He had gotten tired. He had finally, 12 weeks into the season, just been tired of standing up for this dude. And
Yeah, but how much of that is he's not the better running back, dude?
Yeah, dude.
I don't think Najee Harris gets enough credit.
I've been
Granted-
yelling this for
Granted,
weeks.
I think Jalen Warren is the better back, but I don't think Najee Harris is a slouch by any stretch of the imagination. This is a man that came into the league in his first year and had a 1,000-yard season, and that was not. We are not that far removed from that, boys. We're not.
Yeah. Yeah,
And-
but I
and
wish
the-
I could give credit to this. I'm sorry, Bob. I'm going to let you go. But somebody made the comparison of the Melvin Gordon to Eckler. Like, that's what we're seeing. Like, we're like, well, we got to give it to this guy because we
Well,
drafted him in the first
so,
round, as opposed to
it-
having this amazing talent in the backfield. Maybe a little
No,
unorthodox
it-
for the running back position.
And I completely agree with that comparison, but you have to look at the way that the game has changed. And the game has been changed and morphed into a league that promotes a smaller running back. You don't have the big guy that pounds the ball anymore. Like, it's just, that's not the league. The league is an agile, small running back that can hit holes and catch balls out of the backfield. You don't have that running back that that takes 25, 30 carries a game and just muscles it out.
So here's the whole thing on the Najee Jalen Warren thing, and like, oh, is this change going to do anything? Mike Tomlin defended the choices that were made on the offensive ball distribution last week openly in a press conference.
Yeah, and
Said no, I think they were adequate. We don't second guess. That's what we do. We know what we have, and
That's
whatever.
coach speak.
How is it, or is that
Yeah.
Mike Tomlin?
I mean,
So,
it's pretty evident when they.
I think Mike Tomlin is
fired the
notorious.
Tom-
I think Mike Tomlin is notorious for coach speak. I'm going to be the first person to say that. He's the first guy that's going to defend every decision, whether it is right, whether it is wrong. It doesn't matter. Gray, black, white, in between.
Who's calling the plays on Sunday?
So the quarterback coach
Yeah.
is going to be calling the plays. The running backs coach will be the offensive coordinator up in the booth. So it's kind of a dual threat. I guess
I don't know about threat,
if
but
that-
yeah.
Well, it's a tandem between the running backs coach and the quarterbacks coach calling plays and coordinating the offense this week. So there's two guys that are going to be responsible for it.
I don't know
That-
what the over is, but look for the over on Browning rushing yards, by the way.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm still sticking with the Steelers. I think Najee Harris has a big week this week. I think he has to bounce back. I don't think he's going to have a bigger week than Jalen Warren, but I think he's going to have a bigger week than he's had in past.
If he has more touches than Jalen Warren, the Bengals win this game.
Yeah, I'm not saying that he has more touches. That's not my thing. But I think you see Najee Harris a little bit more involved than he has been. And I think it's going to be a good thing for the Steelers.
He's been the most involved rusher. So if he's more involved than he has been.
I couldn't tell you, Bob, watching that game last week, every time I watched Najee Harris in the backfield, I had a sigh of relief. And it isn't necessarily, I'm not knocking Najee as much as how scared I was of Jalen Warren.
That's fair. But I think they're both highly talented. I think Jalen Warren is better than Najee Harris.
Who's the best offensive player on the field?
Oh,
both
absolutely.
teams.
I think Jalen Warren is one of the most productive players in the NFL from the offensive side of the ball. when you
Run
compare
that back,
touches.
Aaron. Say that again.
He was the most dangerous offensive player on the field between both teams. And of course,
last week. Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
last week.
Okay. I'm sorry. You said
It was a
most
13 to
dangerous
10
player on the
shootout.
field. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Complete
Yeah.
shootout. But yeah, I still think Najee Harris has a lot left in the tank, but to say that Jalen Warren is not the better back is completely naive. Like he's the best player. He's the best offensive player on that field.
Like let's compare. I know it's not like the transitive property doesn't exist, but we feel comfortable in saying the Bengals are going to score more than 13 points.
I don't know.
I don't feel comfortable saying that.
Okay.
I certainly wouldn't wager it. Because this is a divisional game, and man, these games we've all seen divisional games, especially with Joe Burrow not at quarterback. Granted, Joe Mixon has done a lot of great things this year. I think Joe Mixon's putting together one of his better seasons.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. The total yards might not indicate it, but what I'm seeing every week to week, I totally agree.
But like the eye test with Joe Mixon's having a great year.
He runs so hard.
Yeah.
And
I don't think, anybody that actually watches these games is like, if they don't agree with that, then you're just not watching the games.
Yeah.
In my opinion, like Joe Mixon's having a fantastic season for the Bengals. He's been more involved than he has been in previous years, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because, the Bengals running game has been the one thing that's been lacking, and it's not at fault of Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon clearly has the talent. It's just the usage and the utilization. Like,
agreed.
You get him more involved, and that offense hums at a high level. So, the biggest, question mark with the Steelers defense has been their run defense. If they can stop Joe Mixon, then the Steelers have a great chance at winning this football game. That's really what it's going to come down to.
Yeah,
is how well they stop
Jake Browning beat you.
Yeah, make Jake Browning beat us. Stop the run.
Yeah.
Like, granted, you've got Jamar Chase and Tyler Boyd.
If you're the Steelers, if you
lose
because Jake Browning balled out, you're okay with that. You can go into next week.
You live with that, and you move on to next week. Like
Yep.
it just is what it is. But don't let Joe Mixon beat you. Don't let the best player on that offense
have
this
a
current
Carolina
beat
game
you.
like last year.
Yeah, don't let the best player on that side of the ball beat you. And that right now is Joe Mixon.
Yeah, if the Bengals can take Jamar Chase and somehow go up 2 touchdowns, that's how they win this game. It's over.
Absolutely.
The Steelers want to keep this one close and keep that Steelers magic alive.
And that's the thing to watch out because Kenny Pickett has not been good to start games.
No,
right.
He's a fourth quarter guy. And
we'll be dialed in on this one for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll be watching this game. We're an hour 40 into this podcast. We kind of need to go rapid fire on these next 2 games, boys.
Let's rapid fire some randos.
Let it burn.
So with the next 2 1:00 games, I'm going to start with the Saints Falcons. Saints are on the road in Atlanta. Let me start with Todd's pick. Todd's got the Falcons. As of right now, it looks to be Winston starting for New Orleans. Looks like the odds of Atlanta secondary to pick him off and win field position. So he is taking the Falcons.
I love that analysis.
I do too, yeah.
That J-Mo is going to turn the ball over and it's going to present the Falcons with opportunity, even though they have an inept offense. But you did see Bijan get a little bit more productive. So, give me the Falcons.
Yeah, I'm also taking the Falcons for this. What's odd is the Saints have won 9 of 11 in this matchup. With Winston being in there, I was coming into this thinking I was going to take the Saints after, sitting down, doing a little bit of research, especially when I saw the, Saints have won 9 of the last 11.
And Desmond Ridder started going forward.
Right. It seems like Arthur Smith kind of got bullied into using Bijan.
Good.
Right.
Might save his job.
No chance. But it might save the Falcons season.
I'll take that bet.
No, I'm not taking that bet. He's a billionaire, dude. He's got influence.
And he's prejudiced against.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, God forbid that guy drives. So I think the Saints would be the safer bet here. Looking at it now, it looks like Winston's going to play, and there's 2 outcomes there. It's you get the Jameis Winston. The thing, the Saints' perspective is Winston actually is going to get the ball to Olave. and that could turn things around for the Saints here. He could also throw 3 picks in this game, 2 of them being in the red zone. I just feel safer taking the Falcons, even though the Saints have kind of controlled this matchup.
Okay, so just to be clear, Aaron, you have the Falcons.
I have the Falcons, yes.
Okay. I am actually. God, this is a tough game.
This is like you said, Corey, a lot of toss-ups.
A lot of toss-ups. Fun slate.
I'm going to take the Saints here just for the pure fact that I don't trust that they're going to put the ball in the right hands. And that's the Falcons. I don't think the Falcons are going to put the ball in the right hands to make the plays when they need to be made. This is a game that I can definitely see going the other way, and I will fade all of you on it.
Winston can throw for 4 touchdowns in this game.
He absolutely could.
He very well could.
Like 360 yards. Yeah,
Yep.
Absolutely.
That's a great fade.
Yeah. So Pops is taking the Saints. I am taking the Saints as well as Tez. Everybody else has the Falcons. So pretty split for the most part. So definitely interested to see this matchup. Next one on the slate, we've got the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the, I guess we can call him an MVP candidate, CJ Stroud, and the Houston Texans at home against the Jaguars. Corey, who you got?
This is a tough one, man.
Yeah, it is.
This might be the second most difficult game of this slate.
It's the toughest from like a game that's gonna be fun regardless.
Give me the Texans. I'm gonna fuck it. Give me the Texans. I'm gonna take them. I've seen more consistent play out of CJ Stroud than I have Trevor Lawrence. I'm not knocking Trevor Lawrence. I still think Trevor Lawrence is really good. But I've seen better play out of one of those quarterbacks, and it's not him. So give me that team. Give me the home team in a toss-up. I'm going to go with the Texans.
All right. We've got Josh, Pops, just Josh and Pops with the Jags. Tez is taking the Texans. Aaron, who you got?
This is such a tough one. I mean, the Texans won 37-17 in the first matchup, but that was like the first 3 games that we saw out of the Jaguars, and we're like, what the hell's going on with this team? Trevor Lawrence.
We're still really saying that about the Jaguars, by the way.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They're the toughest team to gauge, right?
They the new Chargers?
No. I get your point, but yeah,
if they lose in the first round of the playoffs,
maybe I would like to see how this season plays out with Trevor Lawrence before I make a judgment on that, because he at least still has a year behind Herbert in that regard, I believe. Right? He was the draft class after Herbert, or maybe 2. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I just really love what I'm seeing out of Houston, guys. I'm looking at that first matchup, and it's hard for me to flip it, but also I'm gonna take Houston. I have no other analysis than that.
I have no reason to fade you guys here. I really like CJ Stroud. I think CJ Stroud, in my opinion, he is the MVP right now. That's just my take.
You bet it.
Well, not only that, but I think he's what are the Houston Texans without him?
Yeah.
They are literally nothing. I don't think Tank Dell is even on the map. I don't think that this is a team that won 2 games last season, and they're 500 right now.
Yeah.
And CJ Stroud is way better than any of us ever thought he was going to be. I guess my bigger question is, what does the future look like for Trevor Lawrence?
Just fine. Franchise quarterback. He's going to get a contract extension. Here's what I'll ask you: is he better than? Do you think he's better than Kyler Murray?
CJ Stroud or Trevor Lawrence?
Trevor Lawrence.
Do I think Trevor Lawrence is better than Kyler Murray?
Yeah. At this point in Kyler's career.
Yeah, you're right. No.
Yeah. No, I think
I don't think
do.
anybody can reasonably say that Kyler Murray is better than CJ Stroud just because of.
No, Trevor Lawrence. I'm saying
Or, I'm
Trevor
sorry.
Lawrence.
You're right. Sorry.
Do you think Kyler's better than Trevor?
I gotta keep these shotguns straight. No, I don't. I don't.
Derek
believe
Carr.
that.
Do you think Derek Carr is better than ever been better than Trevor Lawrence?
No, I can't honestly say that.
Kirk Cousins.
Yes.
Now, how about before he got the big deal in Minnesota?
Probably
Right.
not.
It's a question. So the point I'm trying to make is that Trevor Lawrence is absolutely going to get a contract extension in Jacksonville.
Oh, for sure. I'm not
It's not even
arguing.
gonna be a
I'm not
question.
arguing an extension here.
So in terms of what do we think the future is for Trevor Lawrence, franchise quarterback. That's the future for Trevor Lawrence. He is going to be tied for the foreseeable future to the Jacksonville Jaguars as their franchise quarterback, and they're going to build around him. That's what's going to happen.
Yes, I agree with
Yeah,
that. I agree with
that's
that.
what's is he going to be a top 5 quarterback? I don't know. I still think that there's time for him to prove that. It's there's a lot TBD on that. Let's talk about this. Talk about Doug Peterson's success with starting quarterbacks. The list's pretty fucking short. How'd Carson Wentz do? Not great.
Nick Foles did
I
amazing.
got Nick Foles to a Super Bowl. Carson Wentz was injured.
Yeah, Nick Foles came out of and then what did Nick Foles do after that?
Disintegrated. Into
Yeah,
Is
a
that
million
not?
pieces.
Is that not?
Flash in the pan though. This
But is that
isn't-
not a point to Peterson?
I don't think so. I think it's a point to Nick Foles. I think it's Nick Foles coming up like same as that we credit Gardner Minshew being better off the bench. Nick Foles is better off the bench.
Yeah,
as
but
well.
Nick Foles hasn't
Mike
done
White-
anything outside.
Mike
of Doug
White
Peterson.
is better. Gardner Minshew hasn't done anything since.
Not since he's become a starter. No.
He hasn't. Mike White is in the same vein as that. There are certain guys that are just better in that situation. I think Taylor Heineke kind of shines in that as well. These guys that just come out of nowhere and just play well for a couple of weeks.
You make a good point.
I'm just tossing it out for consideration in that maybe while Doug Peterson is a fantastic head coach, maybe he's not the best thing for Trevor Lawrence. Just saying. That
No,
needs
it's
I
definitely
think,
an argument that can happen.
and we'll consider that as we move forward with the Jaguars, especially is if we all are predicting the Texans win. If the Texans win, they're in first place in the division, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
They would be because they would have the dual head-to-head. Yeah.
Yeah, they'd be in first place in the division. And I said it last week. Watch out, Jaguars. Texans win, they take first place in this division. Crazy.
Absolutely.
Crazy.
Comment coming in from Adam. Trevor Lawrence is going to go off this week. Maybe.
Went off
We'll
last
see.
week, man.
Maybe.
All I care about is Calvin Ridley. That's all I care about. Does he catch 2 touchdowns again? We'll see.
Probably not.
Y'all, I'm just going to come in and say we got a fucking barn burner on ESPN2 right now between the Gators and the Pitt Panthers. Absolute beautiful basketball game happening right now.
Hell yeah. Basketball's back.
Yes, it is.
And Chris Paul absolutely bodied Chet Holmgren, if nobody saw that.
I didn't.
All 165 pounds of Chet Holmgren at 7'3"
It's insane.
So,
Speaking of 7'3", did you see that kid that just signed with Florida?
no.
He's a 15-year-old from Canada. He's 15. Again, he is 15, and he is 7'5". And he just committed to the University of Florida. He will be moving to the United States and attending a high school near Gainesville to play the rest of his high school basketball career. That's fucking. This dude's gonna be fucking 900 feet tall. This is insane. He's 15.
That's not a good thing.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Getting
No,
tall
but
that
he's big too.
early
He's got
is-
meat on him too. Like he
Does
ain't,
he?
he ain't Chet.
Yikes.
Yeah, he's got meat on him.
I don't know what they're doing to build these kids different these days, but I just don't remember any.
Interesting question in the chat. We need to talk about it. People want to know.
OSU or Michigan this week? Well, we're gonna dive into that. Just give us maybe 15 minutes.
All right.
let's get through these picks. We'll rapid fire the next like 5 or 6, and then we'll dive into OSU Michigan because that is going to be a huge topic this week. So let's get into the 4 o'clocks here. We've got the Rams taking things on the road to the aforementioned Kyler Murray led Arizona Cardinals. Aaron, who do you got?
Yeah, Kyler's looked good, man. Again, this is another really, really tough one. I'm going to take the Rams. I'm going to assume Stafford's health is going to hold out for a week, and I'm just going to hold by this game is after Thanksgiving for the Cardinals here.
It is after Thanksgiving because
So
I've been on the fence on this one.
I know Corey's going to fade the Birds. I'm gonna take the Rams here in the same. Listen, they looked okay last week. Like I think Seattle is a better team than Arizona, but it's tough to play 2 divisional matchups back to back, which is why I'm so on the fence here. Even just saying that out loud makes me want to take the Cardinals. How are you feeling about this one, Bobby?
Dude, I'm on the fence, man.
Let's talk it through. Let's talk it through and help ourselves here.
So, our big thing over the last few years is never take the Birds after you cut the bird.
I'm taking the Cardinals.
And it's never failed us, but I feel like at this point we have to fade the streak.
You got to fade the streak.
I feel like we have to fade it at some point, and I think with the way that Kyler's been playing, I think this is the year to fade that.
The point that just popped into my head here is we have talked about how bad quarterback play has been this year, and a lot of that has had to do with health, right? So quarterback health this year has been abysmal. Kyler's looked good, and he is definitely healthier than the other quarterback on the other side. I came into this fully expecting to take the Rams. I'm going to take the Cardinals. I'm going to take the Cardinals.
Cardinal sin, bro. Cardinal sin.
We already talked about it.
I am also taking
We're fading
the Cardinals
streak
this week. Fading the streak because here's my logic behind it. Kyler Murray just started playing last week. So realistically,
that's where I'm at.
So just realistically, if we're fading him, like cutting the bird after the bird, we still have another 6 weeks, boys. We still have another 6 to 7 weeks
That's a
before
great point,
he
Bob.
even gets there. Like to the actual time, like playing time of actually cutting the bird. So I'm taking the Cardinals this week too. Todd is taking the Rams for the sole fact that he said he would never take the Cardinals. That's his only logic this week.
It's a different team now.
Corey.
That was a good performance last week against Houston, who we all just agreed is going to beat.
I told you that they would cover. I told you last week that they were going to cover.
Yeah, you did. Half point.
Is James Conner still out?
No, he's in.
He's in.
Right? Or he's been in.
Guys, you never bet on the red bird after you cut the bird.
Corey's got the Rams.
It's a statistical fact at this point. I mean, it's a statistical fact. Maybe I'm wrong this week, but I'm going to be right most of the weeks going after this. I'm going to hold true. The Rams win this week. Rams aren't a bad football team. They're not a good one, but they're not a bad one.
You're right. You're right. This is so here was the point that, and Corey, while you left, I'm assuming to go to the bathroom there. No. Crushed a blizzard off screen.
Yeah.
The Rams had the Seahawks.
Tez, who do you have?
He's got the Reds. He's got the Rams. Tez has got the Rams.
He said,
sure.
but his
he says
comment
Rams
that
in the chat.
If James Conner is playing, take the Cards. If not, take the Rams. So that's why I'm asking who he's taking, because he said the Rams.
You got to be
initially,
definitive.
But then he came in with this comment, so I want to make sure I know
Fuck
what
you,
exactly
Tez.
he's taking.
I know it's the biggest bar night of the year, but
so
down.
Corey, the Rams had that game against the Seahawks last week, and it was a really, really tough game.
Yeah.
Cardinals look really good against Houston. It's very, very tough to play 2 divisional games back to back.
Yeah.
That's why I'm taking the Cardinals.
So then you should be taking the Steelers this week.
Yeah, I should.
But you're not.
I'm not.
Give me the Rams.
Tez, we'll get your comment here in a second.
Whose
Just let us know who you are definitively
Rams
taking with the next
house.
comment. Let's
It's
move
the
on.
Worst. It's anybody else's house if it wants to be.
Where are they playing?
Tez said he is
Where is
definitively
that
taking
game?
the Rams.
It's
It
in
is.
Arizona.
It is in Arizona. All right.
God, Aaron, you got me
Next
rooting on the
game.
Giants, the Panthers, and the Rams.
Next game on the slate, I'm going to leave with Todd's pick. We have the Cleveland Browns taking things on the road to Mile High to take on Russell Wilson and the Sean Payton-led Broncos.
Red hot.
Todd is taking the Broncos. Mile High will be popping. Broncos are hot. Weird to say. And last week was 125% emotional win. He's absolutely taking the Broncos this week, 100%.
I'll go ahead and go next, and Bobby, you, and then we can let Aaron give his soliloquy. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Broncos as well. I commented on the environment and what I thought that would bring in their matchup last week, and I was right. And it took a comeback win for it to happen, but it still happened. Everything in Fade the Streak tells me to take the Browns here, but in terms of matchup, I think that playing at home for DTR is going to be very different than going to Mile High and playing a game against a team where he's going to have to outscore. Because the Broncos offense has looked productive. It's moved the ball well. And I know we've talked shit about the Vikings defense over the last year and a half. Don't look now, but over the last 5 weeks, the Vikings defense is one of the top 10 defenses in the league, which is crazy to say, but it's true. And I think that has been a little bit of the reason for the flash of the Pastronaut that we've seen. Don't want to take anything away from Josh Dobbs and what he's been able to do, but I think what we're seeing out of the Broncos is sustainable. Russell Wilson has been playing good football all year, and he's going to have a massive test against what is statistic. Yeah, don't hide that crack, baby. Come on, let it go. He's going to have a massive test against what is statistically the best defense in football in the Cleveland Browns, and defense travels. For sure. My colleague below me in this panel here on this Zoom style stream says that all the time, and I agree with him. He's 100% right. The Browns defense will be there. They'll be able to communicate effectively as the crowd is quiet, but I am more concerned about the Browns offense ability to move the football, and I'm going to take the veteran quarterback at home in a toss-up game. So give me the Broncos.
All right. So Todd has the Broncos. Corey has the Broncos. I'm going to take the Browns for some different reasons.
8-3.
So I am taking the Browns on the sheer
What a
fact that
record.
I hope that I'm wrong.
Interesting take.
So here's my thought process on it. You know, most of the picks that I've made this year that I was just really hoping that I would be incorrect on, I've been incorrect on. Except for last week when I took the Steelers and the Bengals. Like, I was hoping both of those teams to win because I needed the Bengals to beat the Ravens, and I needed the Steelers to beat the Browns. So I decided to hedge my heart and my happiness, and I doubled down last week. I hope I'm wrong this week. I hope the Broncos beat the Browns, but I think that Browns defense is tenacious.
Legit.
Myles Garrett is hands down. If that man doesn't win Defensive Player of the Year, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with the NFL. He is.
It'd be, at this point, it'd have to be, actually, I'm not going to say it.
It would be a travesty.
Don't say it.
It would be a travesty. It would be a travesty at this point. And this is coming from
Aaron was going to go in a much darker route.
No, I understand where
He's
he's going. I understand where he's going, but from a divisional opponent's perspective, I understand what that man is doing. And when he picked up the helmet last week, I laughed my ass off.
Like, what? What?
I honestly thought it was hilarious. If
awesome.
you can't take that kind of a joke, then just don't even watch.
He just throws the hands up. What?
He was like, Yeah,
And the helmet tap, like that's just
Like,
that's
The
yeah.
Steelers guys
it-
were like,
it-
whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, that was good.
if you don't find it funny, then just don't. You shouldn't be here. But
Like alive.
yeah, I'm taking the Browns this week. I think the defense is going to travel. I don't believe in DTR very much, but I think that Russell Wilson's going to struggle because I don't think he's seen a defense quite at this caliber.
DTR
Yeah.
had some ropes though. I will put that
DTR
out
had
there.
some really nice throws last week, and the Steelers
When they
defense
counted.
once again is no slouch.
Yeah.
The Steelers defense is a good defense, and he did pick them apart in some places. But granted, the Steelers secondary isn't where I want it to be at this point in time.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, I still think the Browns have the complete ability to win this game. I think it's a toss-up. I think it comes down to who has the ball last, and I think I think this is a game that the Browns can pull out. You know, if they can pull one out against the Steelers, who have just managed to win every single game that they shouldn't have won, this is a team that they can beat and a team that they can compete against. In 4 quarters. So I'm taking the Browns. Aaron, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Yeah, I mean, like I agree with you guys. Especially, honestly, I got angel devil on my shoulder, like between both of you is what it's looking like. Because I hear both sides of it. To be quite honest, I don't think this is a game where I'm walking in where I'm like very confident that the Browns can win this game. That defense is, Corey, like you said, they're gonna travel. Looks like Denzel Ward might not play though. Which certainly can be a factor, but when you look at Martin Emerson and Greg Newsome on the outside, it's I'm still pretty confident in that. DeJuan Jones is going to come back on the right tackle side. The biggest thing to me here is you have an elite defense, you have the worst running defense in the Broncos going against a top 5 rushing offense in the Browns. So the game plan is pretty simple here, right?
Yeah.
Let's put DTR in positions to succeed. Let's let the defense do their thing. Let's control the clock, and let's try to get 4 yards a carry. That's how the Browns win this game. Corey, you said it. He had some ropes for sure. No more important than going 4 for 4 on the final drive of the game when it was just an offensive stalemate of,
look good.
It was bad there in the middle though of that game.
Yeah.
So I expect the Browns to come out early as they always do in a Kevin Stefanski offense. The script is going to be fine. Where the first 10 to 14 plays are going to look good. And if we can lean on this run game and allow us to take advantage of the fact that you're playing a Denver defense that isn't great against the run, then I'm feeling pretty good about the Browns in this game. So yeah, I am going to take the Browns. But more on it is, Dorian Thompson is, he's not, he is a backup quarterback and he's going to play like a backup quarterback. The Broncos can get some turnovers, especially if they can force a fumble out of a running back, get the crowd going into it where, or they can get a quick strike early. I don't necessarily think that the Broncos offense has been hitting on all cylinders. I watched that game against Minnesota and, it's what it is. It's Russell Wilson throws some balls up. Maybe they get a call, maybe they don't. He throws them up and Cortland Sutton makes 1 or 2 plays in a game. That's awesome. But this defense is fucking good, guys. And I keep saying it week in and week out. And this game plan for this week should, again, rest on that, where you're going to see Myles Garrett get after it. You see them blow it up at the line of scrimmage.
When do we see
linebackers are
Joe
playing great.
Flacco?
In theory, you don't. That's the answer. Is he's there as replacement above PJ Walker, who, let's keep in mind, guys, PJ Walker beat the 49ers. That's why I'm taking the Browns in this game. But this team can win games that they shouldn't because of how good that defense is. Corey, I agree with you 1,000,000% though. Mile High is going to be a fucking factor in this game. And the Browns aren't going to have a quick strike offense to neutralize that early. So it's going to be a factor for 4 quarters. I'm taking the Browns, but it's not a I'm not
Slam dunk.
confident.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a slam dunk. Here's what I will say, and something I really like. And this isn't something the Browns typically do. So we have the Broncos, and then we have the Rams next week. They're not flying home.
Interesting.
This group has been so. There's something about this. I've watched every Browns team since 1999, right? There's a different level of camaraderie to this team prior to even just that factor, and I love that they're doing this. This team just has this level of. It's like serendipitous almost. And I'm not saying that that's going to translate to playoff success or anything like that. But from a regular season standpoint, these guys are winning games that I am so traditionally accustomed to going, fuck, here it goes again. And no more than last week against the Steelers. The Browns won a game that the Steelers have won every single game this year. It took the last drive, Bobby, for us to outdrive you guys or to out-yards you guys.
I'm aware.
Those are games that the Steelers win every fucking time that we play them, especially this year. Especially this year.
That 3 and out there with 1:45 left on the clock was brutal.
I'm taking the Browns in this one. And again, this defense is they're playing like the 05 Ravens. And I know that's high praise, but look at the stat comparisons and it's like night and day. Or I'm sorry, it is so
eerily similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Aaron, your soliloquy caused Tez to change his picks. Tez went from the Broncos and he's now flipped to the Browns.
Worked for Todd.
Yeah, you never know. So Ted, what's up, man? Thanks for coming through. Happy Thanksgiving, man. For everybody that's here from the gaming channel, appreciate y'all swinging through. Happy Thanksgiving. Appreciate every single one of you guys. All right, let's get into
if you want to take a good bet, Browns defense to score a touchdown.
Yeah, I like that this week. Let's get into the 4 o'clocks here. I guess continue to get into the 4 o'clocks. We've got the Buffalo Bills taking things on the road to Philly, take on the Eagles. Corey, who you got?
Yeah, take the best team in football. Give me the Eagles. The Bills are going to do what the Bills do against good teams, and that's lose. So give me the Eagles.
Aaron.
What Corey said.
All right, fantastic.
I mean, it really is like that simple. The Eagles are playing fantastic, and winning ugly, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And again, this is a game where you look at it for the Bills and you go, yeah.
All right. For instance, who's the Eagles' best player on offense?
AJ Brown.
AJ Brown. How many catches did he have last Monday night?
One.
One catch, and they won. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody saw that pull by Jason Kelsey.
Oh,
dude,
that was dirt.
Thing of beauty.
Yeah, he's
an lineman up here.
He's about ready to retire.
Yeah, the man's doing 15-yard pulls downfield and just laying people out. Like, yeah, the man's got a lot left in the tank. Best center in football, no questions.
Yeah.
All right, everybody's got the Eagles. Moving forward, we've got the wrong end of that game on Monday night. We've got the Chiefs taking things on the road to the Raiders. Aaron, who you got?
Is that Monday? That's it doesn't matter.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Night?
Oh, you're saying from last Monday. I'm sorry. I thought you were saying
week.
for the Monday game.
No, I'm saying from last week.
Yeah, Chiefs bounce back hard here, guys.
What's the spread?
Let's see. I'm seeing
Chiefs -7.5 or 5.5. Was it
9?
9. So I'm
9,
with you on
and
that.
I could
I take the Chiefs. I take the Raiders to cover that.
I would take the Raiders to cover that as well. The Chiefs get out early, and that defense is good. Actually great. I would say, yeah. Like they like I haven't
Chiefs
in the Mahomes era.
Unreal.
We haven't in the Mahomes era seen a defense that is actually keeping them in games.
On the inverse side of that, Aaron, we haven't seen an offense this inept in the second half of football. The Chiefs are the worst second half offense in the NFL. The worst. Let me say that again. The
Fuck.
Chiefs.
Is that real?
It is real. The Chiefs are the worst offense in the second half in the NFL.
Yikes.
I think it's somewhere around 60 points total this season.
I saw a very selfish bias stat of the Browns have the same record as the Chiefs and have played 3 different starting quarterbacks and have outscored them.
Oof.
Their offense is
The
struggling.
Chiefs are vulnerable, but it's not against the Raiders.
The AFC is wide open. I'll just put it that way.
It
Fair
is
enough.
wide open.
So Aaron and Corey, you guys got the Chiefs.
Yes, sir.
I do.
Todd has the Chiefs. I also have the Chiefs. I don't
But
think
give me the
anybody-
Raiders +9.
I don't think anybody in chat's gonna argue with you there. Yeah, I think the Raiders have a very good shot to cover this week, especially
agree.
with the way Antonio Pierce has been leading this team the last few weeks.
I also think it'd be a great under.
I'll ask it again. Does Travis Kelce retire in the next 2 years?
I think it's a good possibility.
I mean, he's also younger than Jason,
So,
but he plays like center for whatever reason, though, too, is also,
healthier
less-
position.
yeah, like for the offense, for how beat up the offensive line gets. It's hard to say.
To me, it's more about the
I
money.
mean,
that
I don't know. I
is
mean, Marquise Pouncey for the Steelers, he went through a lot of injuries as a center.
I
Yeah,
get
but
what you're going to say, Corey, the money,
the
but
money that is out there outside of football for Travis Kelce right now is.
they
bananas.
both clearly just love the game so much. It's
I think Jason loves it more. I do. I just by their style of play.
but
I
you know how
just-
Gronkowski hung on for longer just to play with Brady? Like it's hard to retire when you have the best quarterback in your pocket.
Yeah,
When you have all of these records in front of you. It's
But
a
he's
pride
a-
thing, and
but
I
he's
think
already-
they both have it.
he's already like he has nothing else to prove. He has nothing
yeah,
else.
but there's
Multiple Super Bowls. Like,
First ballot Hall of Famer, no question.
yeah, but what did any of those other guys have to prove? It's greatness.
Yeah, but as a tight end, that greatness will never be achieved similarly to that of a quarterback. Never.
Yeah, I listen.
I just think
don't.
it's and Gronkowski has nowhere near the future outside of football that Travis Kelce has. It's not even close.
I don't think you understand the cruise ship market.
Yeah. Gronkowski's an oaf compared to Travis
Yeah.
Kelce.
No.
just think
Kelsey's got.
It's just
Yeah.
something to just I'm putting it here now. It's a place for hot takes. I'm 24 beers
Hey,
deep, so let's just
hey,
talk about it.
it's Mahomes and Auto. I mean, that's just what it, it
Yeah,
is what
get
it
the
is.
fuck out of here.
All right. We all clearly have the Chiefs
Yep.
over the Raiders. We'll scoot into the Sunday night game, which in a game that I don't think anybody's going to divert on. We've got the Baltimore Ravens taking things on the road out to LA to take on an absolutely abysmal LA Chargers.
Brandon Staley's got to go.
Dude, he is rickety cricket.
So we've all got the Ravens. I guess my main points are what are the next steps outside of Brandon Staley? What are the big changes that the Chargers need to make in order to become successful?
No, but you can't say outside of Brandon Staley because it all starts with that. Like this guy is coming to a point where he is. My wife is calling me in the middle of a podcast right now.
Oh, let's see what's up with Katie.
Hello? Yep, I'll be right up. Yep, I'll be right up.
All right, so I'll take this.
Yep.
I mean, Brandon Staley's just been abysmal. Like the press conference, notwithstanding, has been terrible. He just refuses to relent on this defense. Did you see the press conference, Bobby, where he's like, just quit asking?
Yeah. When it was in regard to the defense, and he was not taking any ownership in any way, shape, or form. It was it was just such a bad look.
That is a dead man walking.
Oh yeah,
That's what that is. Like,
yeah. Corey
there's-
sent me the TikTok, and I watched it. And it's literally verbatim what he said. He's a dead man walking, and then I watched the video. I'm like, yep, absolutely right.
Yeah, listen, the Ravens are, they're top of the AFC right now, and frankly, they should be.
Been playing
It's
some
not
good
just
football.
it's not that they just fell into having the best record. You know, Lamar's playing great. They've somehow gotten good production out of OBJ, which I never thought of would have been possible.
He looked so fast.
I
like,
still
on
don't
the-
think he's great.
No, I'm just
At
saying,
least
like, as
compares
far as
him
like
to the
when he
name.
like when he caught that whatever it was, that like 45-yard touchdown where he just galloped, like he just looked insanely fast.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he still has the speed. You're right. Like there's no doubt about that. And they're putting him in positions to succeed. Now, the interesting thing will be not in this game, but moving forward, you know, what drop off will Isaiah Likely give to the Mark Andrews piece of it? And I think as
True.
long as you can get, you know, 70, 80% of what you're getting with Andrews out of Likely, which I think is likely, you're you're gonna be just fine.
Yeah.
Because he's been good, but that's such a beating heartbeat of that offense was Mark Andrews.
Yeah, losing
And
him
I
to
think
that
they'll be
leg
just fine.
fracture stuff.
I'm not worried. And again, Bob, I'm not worried about this game. I'm not worried about this game at all. The Ravens are going to win this game, but it will be interesting to see the Ravens moving forward. For
what
that
does their
offense.
schedule look like over the next few weeks?
I'll pull that up if you want to make your pick.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any reason to fade the Ravens this week. I mean, the Chargers have just been abysmal. It's not even been like they've just been losing games they shouldn't lose, and it continues to verify my belief that, you know, I know Brandon Staley's terrible, but I don't know if Justin Herbert is that guy. I know
I do. I still think
Yeah.
he's.
Look, I know this is a guy that you've continued to be super high on year in and year out, and I don't think Justin Herbert is a bad quarterback. I still think there is a place for Justin Herbert in this league. I just don't think. I mean, granted, there were a lot of plays he made last week where drop balls severely impacted the Chargers offense.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Can you get so I don't care what number. I don't care what number you place him at in the quarterback ranking, but can you tell me the quarterback that he is below and the quarterback that he's above?
That's a great question. I would put him below Jared Goff.
Wow.
And
Okay, so we're off for sure. And I expected this to be.
And I mean, right now I don't understand how you couldn't. But yeah, I would put him below Jared Goff. I think Jared Goff's definitely right now a top 10 quarterback. I don't with the success that the Lions have had, I don't understand, you know, anybody who would put him outside of the top 10.
Again, I don't care about the number because you can say because like he threw 3 picks last week and they somehow beat the Bears. Like they shouldn't have won that game.
I would put him below Jared Goff, but I would put him above. It's finding out who to put him above because it's such a like an arbitrary argument here. So I would put him above.
Was it like Prescott?
I don't know. I would kind of put him and Prescott kind of like fighting.
It can't be. It's a list. You can't have them on the same line of
But I'm saying like you have lists where you have people where you can like interchange them between positions. Like you're saying there's not numbers, so I have to definitively put somebody above the other.
It can be by decimal place, but yeah,
because I would put Prescott above Jared Goff. So it'd probably be for like just for merely argumentative sake, I would in no particular order. Prescott is somewhere here, Goff's here. Herbert is just a touch under Jared Goff, and I would probably put Cousins underneath Justin Herbert.
Yeah, so we're a little bit wildly off, I would say. So I have him and Tez in the comments is great. Like Stroud is such a great answer, but there's still so much unknown with Stroud. I need to see what the sophomore slump looks like with Stroud before I even like
Yeah, so
properly place
I
him.
think the rookie aspect of CJ Stroud
There's
makes
just
it
this-
a very
right.
interesting conversation.
So for me, like Stroud is above Lawrence.
Yes, absolutely. I agree.
So okay, so we can at least agree. So because I still think Trevor Lawrence is really really good. I think we've.
I mean,
you know,
right
he's-
now with the way Stroud's playing, I don't think him and Lawrence are playing the same game.
and I put Herbert below Allen.
Below
And-
Josh Allen.
And let's take fantasy football out of it if we can. And
No,
let's-
I'm thinking purely in the mere fact of who's more valuable to their team.
yeah, I'm taking them all out and putting them in a vacuum.
Because, I mean, if we're realistically thinking about Josh Allen, like what is Josh Allen without Stephon Diggs?
He's well, Josh Allen is a turnover machine.
No, I'm saying
So-
without Stephon Diggs, what is Josh Allen?
He's still. I mean, like
I think Josh Allen's still a good quarterback, but without Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen wasn't really on the map until Diggs got there.
and again, just to keep Tez, you're on it always, man. I love your comments. It's really hard for me to rank Stroud right now. Stroud right now is an
He's
NA.
kind of an anomaly.
He's an NA for me. He's not available to rank because he hasn't played a full. Like, there's not enough data for me to
Granted,
place him
if
on.
you're
this
just
list.
going off this year, that there's no question.
Yeah, there's no question. If we're talking full, like, hey, 2023 season, where are we ranking these guys? No, absolutely. I'm talking about pull
the grand
all of the
scheme.
quarterbacks out who gets drafted first, like in a fantasy draft type of like Madden fantasy draft. And again, I'm not discounting Stroud at all, but he's just like not eligible for me yet to even like place him in this list.
you've got your Burrow, Mahomes, Allen, Hurts,
Hurt, yeah.
Herbert, like your main guys. Like those are the guys that are eligible. Like,
So
you're
I have
going-
Allen above. I have Allen above Herbert, and I have Lawrence below Herbert. In if for the original question I asked,
Yeah.
and Tez, I don't want you to take that as a knock on Stroud, because Stroud is legit. He's awesome. I love watching him. What he's doing right now in Houston is phenomenal. This is not a knock on Stroud. I don't have enough data yet on Stroud to properly place him, and I
Yeah.
want to see what that sophomore slump looks like. And if he avoids it, he's in the Burrow.
he's right there.
He's in the Burrow Hurts tier, 100%. But I'm not blaming Herbert yet, and I'm like the nerd still holding on of like the analytical data.
Yeah, I'm
of-
not. I'm not there.
I can't.
I've seen
there's
too much already.
Yeah, but there's so many 325-yard, 4 touchdown, 1 interception games that they lose that on any other team.
And don't get me wrong, I think Justin Herbert is still a solid quarterback, but I've seen that type of a performance out of a lot of other quarterbacks over the last few years.
So kind of in the same way I'm talking about Stroud, like I want to see this without Brandon Staley. In the same way we're talking about Pickett without Matt Canada.
So
In a different level.
my knowledge of the Chargers isn't great. How long has Staley been there?
3 years? 4
Okay,
years?
So
He got hired the
bas-
same year Stefanski did.
So a majority of Justin Herbert's professional career has been with Staley.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yes.
So then I will tend to lead towards your argument because, like I said, I'm not very familiar with the Chargers, like in their background. Like, bad coaching has a just terrible result, regardless of who's at the helm, like on the field. And the Steelers are the perfect example of that. I don't think, that being said, Kenny Pickett's not the guy. We've seen Kenny, like, even good quarterbacks, like, still have success even when their team loses. Kenny Pickett.
But do you
has
still
had-
have hope he can be Kirk Cousins? Remove the Matt Canada piece away from it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
now I know we're
do.
talking about two different things.
Yeah,
but there's
I know we're
still-
getting into another topic here. I still think Kenny Pickett has a ceiling that he has not reached yet, but I don't know if he'll have the shot.
I think he's licking the floor.
Oh, he's wiping the floor with the
He's in the
inside of
basement.
his asshole. Like
That's right. Like that's what I'm saying. Like Herbert to me has still gotten better, but it's really, really hard to constantly play in these games where if you don't put up 35 points, you're going to lose.
but that's something Pickett hasn't had to deal with because he's had a great defense.
Yeah, and again, it's,
So
it's not the
that's
best
kinda where
comparison. It's what I'm saying is remove Brandon. So what we're about to see with Pickett this week and for the rest of the season and probably next year. How does he look removing this piece? So remove the control, right?
Right. And just kind of let him rip. That's what I want to see. That's what
I want to know what the problem is.
That's what I've been begging to see is that somebody like believe in him and trust him and let him make throws and make mistakes. Let him make mistakes. Like you're not going to get like even in life, regardless football aside, like you don't improve in life if you don't learn from mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to throw picks. You're going to turn the ball over. But it's how you rebound from those and use that information moving forward to assess and make a better decision next time. And that's what we haven't seen is because Kenny Pickett has not like you've seen statistically, he is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL over the last year and a half in his turnover ratio is because he's not been allowed to make mistakes.
Yeah. No,
they virtually made it non-existent. So, like, how can you get better if you're not making mistakes? I would rather Kenny Pickett last year have thrown, 15 picks and learn from, making a quick decision to utilize making a read this year and moving forward from it. So,
and I don't know why this just jumped in my head, but this is a very millennial comparison. You remember when you had like a DVD, right? And it's not working. So are you gonna throw the DVD out? No, but as I say, are you gonna throw the DVD out, or are you gonna now try it on your Xbox? Because I need to know if it's the DVD player or if it's the DVD. Now it's still sitting in the corner until I figure that out.
We're getting old.
But you get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You don't think I took that N64 disc and
well, that was a surefire way to make it work.
Not a disc.
Cartridge, same thing.
Well, it's very different, but but that's what I'm saying. Like, is the disc scratched or did my DVD player go out? And I need to find out which one.
What picks do you need from me?
We kind of just went on about.
So
we
only have one game left. We only have one game left. Tez saying the Steelers need to hire Byron Leftwich.
Who are the Chargers playing?
Tez, I would love to have Byron Leftwich as our OC.
Chargers, Eagles, right?
Chargers, Ravens. You got the Ravens. We know.
Yeah, everybody took the Ravens. So you have any?
I would just say that Brandon Staley is in full panic mode, getting up in front of press conferences and saying that I'm going to be calling the defensive plays. You don't need to ask that question anymore. Like challenging the media in that regard, and also to the point of like
it's the DVD player.
Yeah, and saying. And shit, what was the other it wasn't just the defense. It was, we had some drop passes. We, had some penalties. We're letting people get to the quarterback. All of these things, just making a bunch of excuses for why you gave up the points that you gave up.
Yep.
When you gave them up. So.
For sure. All right, well, let's get into the last game on the slate. Another divisional matchup here. We've got the Chicago Bears taking things on the road to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. We'll lead off with Todd's pick here for Monday night. Todd is taking the Chicago Bears. Don't ask me why, but I'm going with my gut here. I'm feeling a monster game from Justin Fields. I've got the Bears. Aaron, you look like you got some comments.
No, again, the same trend of everything after Thanksgiving and Black Friday. I don't know, man. I just don't know about this one. and that makes for great football, right? We saw Chicago last week play really, really well. And they let the game go. And yeah, Justin Fields, I guess, fumbled the ball out of the end zone, but he wasn't the reason they lost that game. He's the reason they were in that game. Dobbs, is playing great. Last week was tough in that Denver game. I'm going to stick with Minnesota here. It's hard for me to bet on the Bears, but I agree with Todd's sentiment. I think Justin Fields has a big game again. But the odds are telling me to take the Vikings here, and it's hard to go away from that.
Corey.
Yeah, I'm fading Aaron on the Giants, the Panthers, the Rams, and the Broncos. I'm not going to do it on the Bears. And I'll be honest. I think I'm just going to come out and say it. I think the Vikings defense is better than the Lions defense.
Real quick, Corey, keep going. Rob, in the chat, drop us your what you think about the Bears here. I want a little bit of something to read.
Yeah, so I wanted a little more elaboration on that as well. He said, "What WTF? What are you guys smoking?"
Because I think the Bears can win this game.
Definitely stronger than the Zaza.
And I'd love to hear from a Bears fan. Sorry, Corey, go ahead.
No, I think the Vikings defense is better than the Lions. I think they've been playing good football on the defensive side of the ball. And yeah, I think the Bears did a really good job of, showing up and showing out against the Lions, but Vikings bounce back here. Give me them.
I love that Rob got very more succinct. They're going to slaughter him.
Yeah, they're going to slaughter him. Rob, I disagree with you, man. I think the Vikings have had a nice run with Josh Dobbs, but all good things have to come to an end. And I understand. This is a divisional game. These games go either way. The Bears, I believe, lost earlier this season to the Vikings, and I just don't. I see this being a 50-50 split. I don't see this being, especially at this point in the season with the way that it's gone. I think the Bears can. This is a game that they can absolutely win, and it's going to be a close game either way. I don't think this is a blowout in any way, shape, or form. I'm going to take the Bears in a close one in a divisional game on the road. I think they come out and get it done. So DJ Moore, 8 catches, 115 yards, and a touchdown.
And I'm not going to try and convince you out of the pick because I do agree with you here that this is going to be a close game. There's probably at least 6 of these games that are toss-ups this week, if not more.
It's going to be a great red zone
at
week.
least post, once we get to the weekend. The Thursday, Friday games, I think we're all chalk on. But after that, I think, for the most part, these are pretty competitive matchups, and it's going to be fun. That said, when I'm thinking about this, I don't see a huge difference between Dobbs and Fields.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue against that, and they're definitely different style quarterbacks. I think Fields had 11 rushes last week.
Mm-hmm.
He for 100 yards.
Josh Dobbs is going to have 6 or 7. It's not.
Well, yeah, but it's the yardage.
And it's also schemed runs for Justin Fields.
I think Fields was the leading. He had 110 rushing yards or something like that last week. And of course he was out for a little while, and that's a guy playing for his job. And Josh Dobbs is also playing for his job, but it's not there. He's playing for a job. Mm-hmm. So I think that's the part that becomes a little bit different. And I know Rob's dropped a couple in here, so let's get to those and talk.
Yeah. So Rob, starting with our receivers can't get any separation, causing Fields to have to run and run and run. He'll run out eventually. He'll run out of room, whether injury or fatigue. He can't run the ball another 20-plus times like he did last week. Tez responding to that, saying the Bears are definitely competitive with Fields. They're just missing weapons around him. Dobbs has more weapons around him, and he's playing pretty good football.
Jay Jett's back too, I think. He was close last
week. Should be back this week from everything that I've read, but that doesn't mean he will be. Rob responding to Tez, saying that he has weapons other than the offensive line. He has DJ Moore, good running backs, great tight end. He doesn't know how to use them.
Him and DJ Moore seem to have a little bit of a connection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And then last comment here, our O-line sucks, and we still have a good running game, and we cannot pass the ball. It's pathetic. So,
I
you
mean,
know,
there's
so-
something to be said about from an offensive lineman perspective. Like run blocking and pass blocking is a completely different skill set. You need to have both to
For
be
sure.
a really an effective, good offensive lineman. But like, for instance, like Cordell Volson, left guard for the Cincinnati Bengals, is a fantastic run blocker. He's horrendous in the pass blocking. So there's just different skill sets, and there are different offensive linemen that are, ideally you have like, a Joe Thomas. He's really good at both. He's a Hall of Famer. Willie Anderson. He's really
ideally,
good.
you have somebody that's a first ballot.
I'd love to have a bunch of Joe Thomases.
Yeah,
personally.
exactly. Willie Anderson. He was a right tackle, for instance. He's a fantastic run blocker and pass blocker. Like these are guys that
Ideally, you just have Orlando Pace.
right, like these guys that just can do all of it. But like there's it's
Give
just
me
different.
5 Richie
It's different.
Incognitos.
It's different. It is. It's different. So
No, and you guys are all making great points in the chat, and I fucking love it. Like DJ Moore would be the best number 2 receiver. And I agree, like he's stretching himself expecting to be a number 1, but also like put DJ Moore on the Chiefs, like insane. Like that would be insane. We'd all be like, yeah, he's Stephon Diggs.
Quarterback,
And I know the
he's one of
Maryland
the best
connection makes that the easy
and
comparison.
he's
but
he's in the conversation for best in the NFL. I think DJ Moore is a product of his environment, and he's
never had a good environment.
He's never had a great environment. He's been in Carolina, in Chicago.
Yeah, and it's just been a carousel.
We're not singing the praises of either quarterback in the pass game.
Yeah, no, I agree completely, and
So,
we'll see how this one shakes out. But again, we got a lot of divisional matchups this week, and
tons,
a lot of coin tosses. Again, this is going to be a great red zone.
I
week.
stopped watching football last week after the Steelers lost. I'm just going to be honest with you. I didn't watch a ton after that.
I don't have
hats off to the NFL actually throwing some good Sunday games. These are really good Sunday games because you're typically depleted after
this is the best week that I've seen in a while.
Yeah,
where
I
it's
agree.
just like it can go either way, like on a ton of the games, and it actually is like for those that gamble, it makes it a challenge.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Last thing I want to get into before we tap off here, we had a comment maybe 25-30 minutes ago about OSU in Michigan this week.
Yeah,
Big week in the college football arena. So, yeah, let's just do a straight pick 'em here, boys. Just 3 of us. Ohio State, Michigan. Corey, who you got?
So this isn't. I think this is the biggest Ohio State Michigan game since 2006.
the last time they were 2-3.
So I do want to
No.
preface this with a secondary
yeah.
question. If Michigan wins, is Ryan Day out?
No,
Fuck no. Not even close. I have
He's
another
never beat
comment.
Michigan, right?
Yeah, yes.
he is.
He's 1 for 3.
2 for 2. Two
You're also
of
missing
4.
the COVID season, which is
2
like
of 4. So he's
they
split.
were the way
He's 2
better
of 4.
team.
So let me just say, I think this is the biggest game since they were 1-2. In the year that they could before the college football playoff, during the BCS era, when they considered making it a rematch for the national championship. Obviously, we know who went on to win that game. Go Gators. That was a massive matchup at a 1-2 in Ann Arbor as well. I think this is the biggest game since then. And we've got a lot of question marks on both sides of the ball. And I think both of them, to me, boil down to the quarterback position. McCord is not him
No, he's
for
not.
Ohio State. But guess
No,
what?
Marvin Harrison is.
But guess what? JJ McCarthy isn't either. I'm sorry. Like, I live in Michigan. And
That
so
game
here-
we watched last week was terrible.
So here's an interesting thing that I grew up in the state of Ohio. not being an Ohio State fan, growing up in the state of Ohio it led me to hate Ohio State. It just kind of due to the fan base and all this stuff,
especially being from Cincy.
It just kind of like, fuck you. I don't know. That's the kind of mindset that came about me. I've lived in Michigan now for 5 years, which is about a little under a quarter of the time that I've lived in Ohio. But in that time, I have grown to hate Michigan as well. I don't like them. Here's the thing, Michigan fans. Here's the thing, Ohio State fans. You're the same fucking people. Okay? You're the same people with different colors. You didn't go to the school, but you root for them like you did. So fuck both of you. Okay? JJ McCarthy.
It's so fucking true, dude.
It is, dude.
I can't wait. Yeah, go.
JJ McCarthy is not a good quarterback.
Preach.
Okay? He's not a good quarterback. You want to talk about, well, he went out and beat Penn State, man. He threw the ball 8 fucking times the entire game. 8 times he threw the football. Okay? He didn't throw it at all in the second half. Blake Corum won you that football game. So that's what this comes down to me. It's Blake Corum for the University of Michigan, and it's Marvin Harrison Jr. for Ohio State. That's what this comes down to at the end of the day.
That's a pizza review.
The quarterbacks aren't going to make it. The quarterbacks aren't going to make or break this game. They are who they are at this point. We know all of that. What is going to boil down to is, can Ohio State get Marvin Harrison the ball in space and let him create? And can Michigan out-muscle Ohio State? I'm taking the Buckeyes. I'm taking the Buckeyes because I think they're sick and fucking tired of hearing about that Michigan is just a tougher team than they are, that they're just a stronger team than they are, that they're going to just push them around. I think they're sick and fucking tired of it. And since Jim Harbaugh has not been on the sideline, Michigan's defense looks weak as fuck. You gave up 24 to who? Maryland last week. Maryland. If you play that defense next week, you're going to get the fucking taken behind the woodshed, and Marvin Harrison's going to have 3 by halftime. I'm just saying. You cannot play that same kind of football this week. You can't do it. You will get the fucking shit kicked out of you. You can't.
Yeah, that was one of my biggest questions was, what are your thoughts on last week's game? Aaron.
Yeah, I mean, Corey brings up some great points. The Harbaugh thing to me, for the defense, yes, I agree with you 100%. But like him not being on the sideline is like a 2 to 3% factor to me.
Yeah.
College football teams are more institutions than they are about.
You win in the offseason by the kids you bring in.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Corey. That's exactly the point I'm trying to make. Like him not being there is not really a big deal to me, or at least it's not swaying me at all. One way or the other. McCord is not the guy. Whatever. Ohio State will dip into the transfer portal, get a new quarterback next year. It's fine. They'll always have good wide receivers as long as Hartline's there. Corey, I'm in the same way, and I hope you can at least back me up on this a little bit. Like, I'm from Cleveland, big Ohio State country.
Yep.
I root for Ohio State. I don't really follow college football in the same way that a lot of people do.
I think you did more 10 years ago.
I don't lose sleep over Ohio State losing.
Agreed.
I will fall asleep very soundly on Saturday night if Ohio State loses. It is not going to do anything to me. I don't like – I hate Michigan more than I like Ohio State. That's how I am. The school, by the way, because you're right, Corey, the point you made, like the people are the same. I love the state of Michigan. I fucking love it. You got pocket lakes everywhere you can go. It's beautiful country. You got great golf, good people. And then there's this weird rivalry that is surrounded around fucking Toledo?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Worst city in Ohio.
Yeah. They're like, oh, we want Toledo. And I get it. It was a fucking docking bay, in the 1800s when we were we're doing steel ships or steam
Horses
powered
and
ships.
shit.
Yeah, fine, whatever, great. I'm also
Way to
taking
bring
the
history into it.
I'm also taking the Buckeyes. For a lot of the reasons that Corey just said. There's this weird thing going on with Michigan now, and it reminds me very much of the Astros, right?
Mm.
Like, oh, dude, that's not cheating. It's not cheating. It is. It is. Everyone does it. Well, they do, but not to that like, okay, fine. Whatever. That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. And I'm not even going to talk like I know 100% about it. Because to be honest with you, I don't really give a shit. I just want Michigan to lose.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I'm going to take the Buckeyes because Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be the first offensive skill position off the board. I think they get him the ball.
Yeah.
And frankly, I think Ohio State has owned this matchup for a very, very long time. And Michigan's been very loud about the fact that they've won 2. And I think it gets under some skins.
Yeah, Ted's coming to the comments saying JJ is a good QB. No, he is not an NFL quarterback, but he's a good college quarterback.
Which is a huge difference.
That's good enough to win. They have intentionally been hiding the passing game for this weekend, and that's no doubt. JJ can throw the ball. They didn't not throw the ball against
This is
Penn
not how
State
college
because they
football
couldn't.
works. Though.
They didn't throw it because they were able to run the rock down their throats. That's traditional Jim Harbaugh football.
Yeah, but that's the thing is like that's not college football. Like college football is not a thing where like you implement something the week of. College football is like you're continuously building on what you're good at throughout the whole season and you stick to that. Right? You continuously stick to what you're good at and you are that. That is your identity throughout the entire season and you hope it's enough to get you where you want it. For instance, Georgia has been an acceptable offense with an elite level of defensive play that has brought them to national championships. That's what Georgia has done over the last. What was Clemson? Clemson was an elite quarterback with dogs on defense. That's what they were. And that's why Clemson was so dominant. Same thing with Alabama. They didn't just come out of nowhere and just be like, you know what? Here's our passing game. JJ ain't that guy. He threw 3 picks against Bowling Green.
Right.
JJ
Big time, though. Big time deep.
Actually, you know what? Bowling Green has the most the highest turnover differential in college football, actually, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not laughing at not laughing at because Tez, I love you very much, but you could take Tez's comment and replace Harbaugh with Tressel, and it's the same fucking. Like, that was how Ohio State was.
You're not hiding a passing game against Maryland.
The only point
if anything, you're tuning it up.
I actually meant to mention, and I wish I did when it was my turn, so I apologize. Ohio State has won those close games against Notre Dame and Penn State this season, and there is something to be said about that. So if this game comes down to like the end of the game, I do trust Ohio State more because those have been bigger matchups where you have to close it out and come out with a W. Where I don't think Michigan has had those games this year.
Let me put it to you this way. Regardless of who wins on Saturday, let's say Michigan wins. I think
they should.
They should win. Let's say Michigan wins. I think Ohio State would have a better chance in competing in the college football playoff than Michigan.
Their defense is good this year.
I'm just saying Ohio State would have a better chance competing in the college football playoff than Michigan goes to the college football playoff. Whoever wins this game goes on to win the Big Ten, and they're going in the college football playoff. They're going to get the shit fucking rocked out of them by whether it's Bama or Georgia.
I think both of them would, but I agree with you that Ohio State would have a better chance. Bobby,
They would
what do you think about this one?
Put up more. Bobby's not a college football guy.
I'm not, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've been up since 3:30 this morning.
He's sleepy. He's a sleepy.
I'm
guy.
He's been
tired. Shit.
shotgunning beers.
What do you mean
And I've been
podcasting for
shocking
3
at
hours?
beers. We've been
Isn't,
podcasting for
in-
3 hours. I am ready to hang it up. But
I get it.
in a game this week,
You asked the question.
with Michigan coming off of a lackluster performance against a team that they honestly shouldn't have even been close with, I'm taking OSU this week. Like the game last week for Michigan should not have even been even close, even with all the bullshit happening with Jim Harbaugh. And like if you're a quality team, it doesn't matter what's going on in the coaching realm. You still go out there and you take care of business, and they didn't do that. Granted, they won, but they didn't take care of business like they should, at the collegiate level. So I'm taking OSU this week. I'm taking the more put together football team, and Maserati Marv has a big day. Shout out to Gus Johnson.
You take any year though too, which is funny. Like this is the classic throw the records out. Like it's Michigan, Ohio State.
Yeah,
they're both going to bring it.
Could be a good game. Could be a fun game.
No, I think it's still going to be a good game, but I think OSU pulls it out in a close one.
We'll see.
So, Bob, did you finish the last? So Corey and Aaron both helped me out. One took a shot, one actually shotgunned.
Just I'll do one.
Corey
just
did
for
two
you if
shotguns.
we're one behind.
No, we're good. We're even.
Well,
Stevens.
I poured
Corey
it.
did. No,
Yeah, whoops, in the glass.
Then fucking.
counts.
Then knock it back, baby.
Here, Bobby, question. When's the last time that a OC was fired, a team missed the playoffs, and a head coach kept his job in the NFL?
Yikes! I know
Aaron,
the
let
last
me-
time.
let me
I know the
propose
last
that
time
question.
the Steelers made a mid-season change was back in it was like 60 years ago.
Aaron, last time an OC was fired, the team missed the playoffs, and the head coach kept his job.
Marvin Lewis, Hugh Jackson.
Ding, 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 ding.
Wow,
Well, I'd say the only reason Corey
Bengals?
would have that locked up is if it was Bengals related, and I also remember that happening.
Just saying.
No, Tomlin's a part of the institution. Like here's the thing. What was it the first time that they've fired anybody since forever? What the Lions were probably in first place?
So it was the first
Pearl
time.
Harbor.
It was the first time that the Steelers had
Seriously.
fired a coach mid-season since 1941.
I love that I got it though.
1941.
1941 was the last time the Steelers fired a
date
head coach in the middle
Which
of the
will
season.
live
Not a head coach, but a
in
a prominent
infamy.
coach.
the empire of
No.
Japan deliberately.
Let's let Bobby go to sleep.
Yes, please, God. Thank
What
you.
a loser. What a loser.
Fucking sleepy.
You're
sleepy
gay.
Bob.
Sleepy
He's
Bob.
only been
over
up
here.
for 21 hours. Just
Stand
not
up here,
enough.
going
not
to
enough.
sleep.
He's not put in enough.
I'm not
effort. There's
going to
great
sleep. I
effort
don't
put
go,
in, but just
I
not
don't go to
enough.
sleep. All right. I love you
That's
guys.
enough for the Donald Trump.
Happy Thanksgiving,
Chat,
everybody.
We are very thankful for every single one of you guys that popped through here.
Rob
We will
Tez,
see
thanks
you
for
guys
hanging
next
out with us,
week,
man.
for week 13. But until then, best of luck. Eat tons of food tomorrow. Be safe this weekend. Hope your fantasy teams do well.
Uber.
And we'll catch you guys next week for week 13 pick'em.
Peace.
Hold on, I gotta hit the end stream button.
Bye.